political stakes ride on the outcome, which some lawmakers see as a test of Congress's ability to pass any kind of bipartisan policy reform, even with White House support. With the Democrats taking over the House of Representatives in January and Republicans keeping their grip on the Senate, bipartisanship will be needed to get much done in 2019 and 2020, even if hyperpartisanship has been the norm in recent years. Entitled the First Step Act, the bill would make it easier for some deserving inmates to be released from prison into halfway houses or home confinement, create programs to reduce recidivism, and prevent first-time nonviolent offenders from facing harsh mandatory minimum sentences. Waiting for next year, they fear could give opponents more time to pick apart the current legislation. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following the announcement of First Communion, The Holy Spookerist, the first hardcore pornographic movie to be filmed in Vatican City since 1982's classic adult feature Pope Fisters 4, Onion reporter spoke to Herschel Savage, director of the film.
It's a huge honor for me and everyone else involved with this film. This is where they shot Pope Fisters 4. I mean, that movie's a masterpiece. When we wrote up the script, we sent it over to the Vatican to get the Pope's approval and see if he had any notes, but he loved it just the way it was.
The highly anticipated pornographic film, which stars Ron Jeremy as the horny sea himself, Pope Benedict the 69th, will reportedly contain graphic sex scenes filmed in the Sistine Chapel, St. Peter's Square, and the Pope-mobile, among various other notable sites within the Vatican.
Well, actually, I'm just watching a cut of this amazing scene we shot last night where Pope Benedict is gangbanging a bunch of nuns in his bed, and it was great because the Pope let us use his bedroom. Tomorrow we're shooting the scene where two nuns f*** each other on St. Peter's tomb using strap-on crucifixes. I think people are really going to like this movie.
This is the Onion News Network.
I think the Wikipedia article will do it.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free. Join us here on the radio, and our number for you is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Also, we've got the Discord on our call-in line rooms. They are open for you. There's several of them. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. You should use the Discord app, though, if you want to get into those rooms, and then you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. And in the studio with you, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Mark, you are wanting to talk about a bit of history tonight.
Yeah.
An important bit of history.
That's right. I think that we need to look at, well, it is the day that will live in infamy, is it not?
That's what you told me, and I recall it happening at around this time of the year.
Yeah. It's December 7th, 1941, the day that would live in infamy. Yeah, it's that day, right? It's the day that Pearl Harbor was bombed, and I think it's worth talking about sort of some of the things that led up to this. Now, I'm not here to say the United States is guilty when it comes to World War II. But I think that we need to look at World War II, which is often held up as this sort of perfect war. Many people in my generation just love to study it and know all about it, and the airplanes and the tanks and everything about it. They don't spend much time on World War I, which of course is what led up to World War II. But another piece of the history that we're never told. You're just never told this one. It's like that bombing on Pearl Harbor. It just came out of nowhere. I wonder why all this happened. Well, here's one of the reasons. It's called the McCulloch Memo. It's also known as the 8 Action Memo. It was a memorandum dated October the 7th, 1940. So about a full year before the Pearl Harbor attack. It was sent by Lieutenant Commander Arthur H. McCullum, who provided the president with intelligence reports on Japan and oversaw every intercepted and decoded Japanese military and diplomatic report destined for the White House. So this is the guy that is the intelligence guy that's providing naval information about Japan to the president at the time, FDR. In his capacity as Director of Office of Naval Intelligence, Far East Asia Section, it was set to Navy Captain Dudley Knox, who this was sent to Dudley Knox, and who agreed with the actions described in the memo, and along with Walter Stanton Anderson. The memo outlined the general situation of several nations in World War II and recommended an 8-part course. A course of action for the United States to take in regarding the Japanese Empire in the South Pacific, suggesting the United States provoke, these aren't my words, provoke Japan into committing an overt act of war. The memo illustrates several people in the Office of Naval Intelligence promoted the idea of goading Japan into war. Several people in the Office of Naval Intelligence promoted the idea of goading Japan into war. It is not believed in the present state of political opinion the United States government is capable of declaring war on Japan without more ado. If by the elucidated 8-point report plan, Japan could be led to commit an overt act of war, so much the better. So these guys wanted war with Japan.
They got it.
And they wrote a plan to make that happen because the American people didn't want that. Now, I had a friend, a mentor, a guy that he was in his 70s when I was in my early 20s, and he had been in World War II. He landed on Nuremberg in the Philippines, and he was with, I don't know, one of those, 501st or something. Anyway, he was paratrooper. And basically, he had didn't know anything about Japan, and then they bombed Pearl Harbor, and then suddenly he wants to go teach the Yellow Man a lesson. He was very clear on what happened. He also said that he would probably never be okay with Japanese people. He just, he fought them, and quite literally, and, saw war crimes and all the things that happened during war, and it's awful. But he was one of those people that essentially went from not having any opinion about Japan at all to having the opinion that Japan just needed to go. They attacked us. Well, maybe if they knew all this, they wouldn't have been quite so ready to jump for war. So here is the 8-action plan. The McCulloch Memo contained an 8-part plan to counter rising Japanese power over East Asia.
So is this a summary or is this the actual plan?
Summary.
Okay.
Make an arrangement with Britain for the use of British bases in the Pacific, particularly Singapore. Make an arrangement with Netherlands for the use of base facilities and acquisition of supplies in the Dutch East Indies. So now America begins populating all these bases because they've got arrangements. Give all possible aid to the Chinese government of Chiang Kai-shek. Of course, that's Japan's enemy. Not to say, for any good reason, but whatever. Send a division of long-range heavy cruisers to the Orient, Philippines, or Singapore. So, have a presence out there. Keep the main strength of the U.S. fleet, now in the Pacific, in the vicinity of the Hawaiian Islands, and insist that Dutch refuse to grant Japanese demands for undue economic concessions, particularly oil. So the United States already had at that point an embargo of oil on Japan. So they also wanted to make sure that the Dutch refused to sell oil to Japan also.
Okay.
And the last point, completely embargo all U.S. trade with Japan in collaboration with a similar embargo imposed by the British Empire. So these are the things that would be done in order to get Japan wanting to fight, and so that they would commit an overt act of war, as the memo states. The memo was read and appended by Captain Knox, who, despite being seemingly reluctant to participate in anything in the Orient, ultimately concurs. Specifically, he wrote, "It is unquestionably to our interest that Britain not be licked. Just now she has a stalemate and probably can't do better. We ought to make certain that she at least gets a stalemate. For this, she will probably need for us substantial further destroyers and air reinforcements to England. She should not participate anything in the Orient that would hamper our ability to precipitate anything, so long as probability continues. If England remains stable, Japan will be cautious in the Orient. hence our assistance to England in the Atlantic, also protection to her and us in the Orient. However, I concur in your courses of action. We must be ready on both sides and probably strong enough to take care of both. So basically he's saying, yep, we've got to stand against those Japs and make sure the British look like they're doing it too. Stinnett, this is an author that writes about the McCulloch memo, writes that while no specific record has been found by the author indicating whether Anderson or Roosevelt actually ever saw a series of secret presidential routing logs plus collateral intelligence information in the Navy files offer conclusive evidence that they did see it. His evidence of secret presidential routing logs is not provided. Stinnett, the author, goes on.
Wait, is the suggestion there that if they didn't see it, that therefore he can't be blamed for what happened?
I guess that's the idea. I mean, if your Navy gets to do whatever they want and you're not paying attention to the fact that your Navy is instigating a war, you're still responsible. But, I mean, the evidence was that Roosevelt's White House was looking for a fight somewhere to they believed in Keynesian economics. They believed that a war would get them out of the Depression.
Wow.
And, well, this one actually did. Throughout 1941, it seems provoking Japan into an overt act of war was the principal policy that guided FDR's actions against Japan. And Roosevelt's cabinet members, most notably Secretary of War General L. Stimson, are on record favoring the policy, according to Stimson's diary. Further evidence suggests that Roosevelt had seen the memos and was his support of pop-up cruises. I guess this is taking the boats out in different places. And an elaboration upon actions D and E.
Pop-up cruise would be to invite, basically, an attack.
Right. You know, warships don't like to see other warships.
We're just going to go float out in this territory and hope nothing happens.
Yeah.
More coming up here. And, Mark, this is history. A lot of people deny this, though, right? They say, this
They
memo,
don't think about it.
Yeah. All right, more coming up here in moments. 8:55, 450, free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live. When do you want to spot that burglar? When he's casing your home or after he's in? Ask John, whose Blink camera alerted him of burglars trying to break in while his family was home. Or Shannon, whose Blink camera caught a package thief. Blink motion-activated cameras are wire-free, set up in minutes, and run on 2 AA batteries that last up to 2 years. Save up to a whopping 40% off all outdoor XT and add-on cameras through December 22nd, while supplies last. Visit blinkprotect.com/holiday. blinkprotect.com/holiday.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry MyPillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose.
And here's Mike's best offer ever. MyPillow is now offering 50% off their 4-pack special plus free shipping. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-951-5617 and use promo code FTL. That's 50% off plus free shipping. Don't delay. Order now.
Free Talk Live.
I said he was working for
You
criminals.
called him a criminal, did you not?
No, I don't
he
think
might
so.
have just been a sucker.
He said he was working for liars and thieves and criminals. Isn't that what we would call politicians?
They've been crooked since the dawn of time.
Agreed. So let me ask you, what is somebody who takes money to kill at the behest of liars and thieves? What do you call that person? Because a veteran is the one who called in and boxed us in the corner on this in the past. I don't have an answer to that question. That sounds very nice, at least. Do you?
Truthfully, No, I really don't have an answer to that question except to say he was doing his job.
Well, I mean, that's what they said at the Nuremberg trials, right? We were just following orders.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free. Take control of the airwaves here. Bring up anything at 855-450 free. We're starting out with a little bit of history. Mark, you're discussing the, is it McCollum or McCullough?
McCollum.
McCollum. The McCollum memo, which ostensibly outlines a plan, an 8-point plan, to essentially goad the Japanese government into attacking the Americans in 42? When was it?
Well, it was written in 40, and the attack was in 41.
Okay.
December 7th, 1941, a day that would live in infamy.
Right, and it is now December 7th as we're producing this program, so it's an appropriate time to talk about it because, everybody in the United States wants to remember all the alleged heroism, right? There was a movie. They made a movie about Pearl Harbor, or at least one of them, probably more than one. But, the ostensible idea that, look at our sailors, they were attacked by these vicious Japanese dogs, and, look at them doing what they can to fend off this evil attack. But it turns out the U.S. government actually wanted the attack to happen.
Yeah, it was a fiction.
They wanted the attack was real, but
the heroism
the story behind
too.
it was a fiction.
Right? Yeah, the story that, my God, where'd this come from?
Right. We had no idea that they were gonna commit an overt act of war, to quote the memo that came a year before Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor. It's almost as if the brass in the Navy, and perhaps all the way up to the president, likely all the way up to the president, FDR, wanted those people attacked, wanted those people killed, so that they would have a reason to fight their war. I mean, that's what the evidence shows. And I would not say that the heroism that was portrayed on that day and many other days in the war wasn't heroism, but in the face of facts that show that the government was complicit, the United States government was complicit in this.
Yeah.
Does that not? What does that do to the heroism?
It undermines it. Is what it does.
Yeah, I think that it. I think the heroism remains heroic. However, the cause for the heroism is sullied.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, ultimately, fundamentally, it's really no different than any other situation in which you can pluck out some examples of heroism from,
Sure.
U.S. military members, whether it be in Afghanistan or Iraq
any other
Vietnam,
military.
Or, yeah, right. I mean, ultimately, these are all just, men and some women who are dying at the hands of politicians for the benefit of politicians.
Right. That's what this comes down to is that the people who we say protect us, who swore an oath to the Constitution, like if they'll say it over and over again, these people are here to protect you. No They're not.
Wait, do you mean the military or the politicians?
The politicians that control the military. This was the military brass. Look, I'm going to take the enlisted men and move them out of this equation. But the military brass, I mean, how many of them were going to the newspapers at this time and saying, my God, the military brass, all the way up to the president, are trying to get us into a war with Japan. They're trying. They have here's a memo. This is one of the reasons we try to protect leakers in this country.
How many people would have known about the whole setup, so to speak? I mean, I can't imagine it would be that many people.
Yeah, it does. I mean, here it's listed about a half a dozen people.
Okay, so yeah, that's probably about. I mean, that seems like it would probably be about right. So you can probably keep amongst 6 people, you can probably keep a secret. But if you start growing those numbers, you're not going to be able to.
The intelligence community manages to keep secrets with larger groups.
They do. You're right,
but not too much larger. At some point or another, something happens. And I don't think at that time that this was too outrageous. I mean, you got to consider where the United States had come from. The United States was empire building at this point. The United States had a battle plan for attacking Canada. I mean, this was that was in the 30s, and this was 1940, so still basically the 30s. And so I don't think that people are too shocked at this. This is, the age of empire hadn't quite ended. Britain hadn't left India or any of this stuff yet. And
yeah, that's true.
This was really the war in the Pacific theater of World War II was really about the United States gaining control in the Pacific and less about avenging American deaths in Pearl Harbor, because those were planned by the brass. And it shows right here. Going on here, further evidence suggests Roosevelt had seen the memos in his support of pop-up cruises, as we mentioned in the last segment, an elaboration upon actions D&E that we listed earlier, and 8 recommended actions detailed in the memo. I just want to keep them popping up here and there and keep the Japs guessing. I don't mind losing 1 or 2 cruisers, but I do not take a chance on losing 5 or 6. Admiral, so there we go. We're willing to lose a few ships. I don't know if you're aware of this, but those ships are populated by hundreds of people.
Yeah.
That's a quote.
Well, if you want to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs.
Yeah. That's a quote ostensibly by Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
The people weren't worth anything. The people don't matter. It's the ships. They cost money.
Well, he's willing to give that up too. I mean, it's all for glory of the politician in this case. Anything for, his to accumulate more respect and more fear and power. That's what it's about.
Admiral Husbandy Kimmel, on the other hand, opposed the pop-up cruises, saying they were most ill-advised and will result in war if we make this move. But
wow, an actual military guy who didn't want to go to war.
But the decision on the pop-up cruise matter may go against me. In fact, at this time, Kimmel was not aware of Washington's 8-action policy. So he's saying, wow, these pop-up cruises are basically an instigation for war.
Right, so not being aware of the McCollum memo at the same time. So having no idea.
Looking for war.
Yeah, having no idea. He was able to identify, this is really bad plan.
Admiral James Richardson also opposed the plan and quoted the president as saying, sooner or later the Japanese would commit an overt act against the United States. The nation would be willing to enter the war. So FDR knew that the United States people were not interested in a war.
Right.
But an attack.
They weren't interested in World War I back in the day either.
Yeah, less so. I mean, over time, they got more and more interested in it just because there's fighting going on.
Woodrow Wilson to keep them out of war?
Yep. The Democrat was elected in the face of Republicans who were saber-rattling, but he was only reelected, mind you. So, presidents always get reelected.
Well, I mean, this is where propaganda comes in. I mean, if you can influence the people, influence, the circumstances, people will support anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and in World War I, the final thing was the sinking of this ship that had munitions on it, but it also had passengers. So, there's the ship going back and forth, and the Germans, who are no longer getting any war supplies from the United States. The United States is basically the munitions manufacturing area for their enemies, the Triple Entente there. And, well, of course, Germany was sinking these ships. They gave fair warning, no more shipping. No more. We see a ship, we sink it. And the United States sent out a ship, called it a passenger ship. It was full of munitions. And boom. That was what got the United States into war. Going here also, Admiral Nimitz turned down the command of the Pacific Fleet so that he would not become a scapegoat if the Japanese attack the United States by surprise.
So after saying, hey, this is a bad idea, he was actually willing to say, I'm not going to follow that order and demote me, basically.
Right, just basically, get me out of here. Because that's what would have happened ultimately, is he would have been caught. Got a quote.
He would have been blamed, you mean?
Yeah. Admiral Chester Nimitz Jr. describes his father's political maneuver here. We'll talk about that in just a moment.
All right, toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. Coming up, Roger Ver from Bitcoin.com says the future of cryptocurrency is brighter than ever. It's tough for a lot of people to see that.
It's a hard day to say that.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that on the way here on Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
You may need this herbal tea for relief right away, so write this down. DRMILLERS clinic.com. If you take meds, then suffer stomach distress, constipation, indigestion, acid reflux, and bloating, and nothing else helps, get Dr. Miller's Holy Tea or Super Holy Tea, a cleansing, detoxifying herbal tea now available at great rates direct from Dr. Miller's office. Call or click 888-660-7039 or DRMILLERS clinic.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, whether it be cryptocurrency, which has been in the midst of a bloodbath and price turned down recently. But Roger Ver says the future is brighter than ever. We can talk about that coming up here in a little bit. By the way, with you tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Mark.
I don't know if I ever actually said welcome, Chris, because you came in just a little bit late.
I did. I was like a minute and a half late. I think I did. I totally lost track of the time.
So welcome. Chris is here from Think Penguin and also Freedom Decrypted, which is a television or video show. I guess I shouldn't call it television show.
Yeah, I don't know how to phrase it.
A video show.
We have a video component. It's very video focused, but there's a lot of audio. It's kind of like radio, talk like a talk.
Well, you do show things, right?
Yeah,
like you
talk
do show
show.
screen shares and things like that on.
Yeah.
But it's
there's a graphical component a little bit.
You're a crypto friendly, tech friendly talk show, basically.
I mean it's liberty. It's any kind of liberty, freedom type of issues surrounding tech, basically. So a little bit of what I bring in usually on Free Talk Live.
Speaking of tech,
more of it.
When do you want to spot that burglar? When he's casing your home or after he's in? Ask John, whose Blink camera alerted him to burglars trying to break in while he and his family were home. Or Shannon, whose Blink camera caught a thief stealing packages. Both times, the Blink video clips were sent to the police to help convict the crooks. Blink motion-activated indoor and outdoor cameras are wire-free. They set up in minutes and run on 2 AA batteries that last up to 2 years. And if you're traveling over the holidays, Blink's live feed option lets you monitor your home, check in on your pets, or whatever from anywhere using the Blink smartphone app. No contracts, no subscriptions, and very affordable. Blink works with Alexa, by the way, because Blink is an Amazon company. And Blink camera systems, of course, make great holiday gifts. They're a great way to monitor holiday package deliveries as well. A lot of concern with packages getting stolen off of people's front porches and stoops and such.
It's that time of year.
This can help with that. Save up to a whopping 40% off of all Outdoor XT and add-on cameras through December 22nd while supplies last. Visit blinkprotect.com/holiday. That's blinkprotect.com/holiday. As we continue here, Mark, you're getting into, I would say, deeper than any other time we've talked about this. And we've certainly talked about the McCollum memo before, the 8-point plan that was issued ostensibly to President Roosevelt at the time to encourage the Japanese government to attack the United States, to basically move the chess pieces in a way that would
an overt act of war.
Yeah, to have the Japanese commit the overt act. So to essentially goad them into it. It's something we've discussed over the years here on Free Talk Live. Although I don't think we've ever gotten into this much of the kind of the historic detail, where you were just telling us that there was actually a admiral who said he was not going to participate in this.
A pretty important admiral from a historical standpoint.
Yeah.
So
he looked at he didn't see the plan, but he didn't see the 8-point plan, was what you said. But he did see the idea of, let's just go and float these boats out.
I have no evidence that Nimitz did not see the 8-point plan. That was a different admiral to whom you were referring.
Sorry.
That was James O. Richardson.
Okay.
This is Admiral Nimitz. He turned down the command of the Pacific Fleet so that he would not become the scapegoat if the Japanese attacked the United States by surprise.
Got it.
So in a History Channel interview with Admiral Chester Nimitz Jr. describes his father's political maneuver. Chester Nimitz says, "It's my guess that the Japanese are going to attack us in a surprise attack. There will be a revulsion in the country against all those in command at sea, and they will be replaced by people in positions of prominence ashore. And I want to be ashore and not at sea when that happens." The characterization of McCollum, so that's what Nimitz predicted was going to happen. There'd be a surprise attack. Everybody, all the admirals that are at sea at that point, they're the bad guys, and all the ones that are ashore are going to be the good guys. And Nimitz is like, I'm not going to go out there. You can go ahead and use somebody else for that, not me. The characterization of the McCollum memo as a recipe for war was not accepted by the U.S. Army military historian Conrad Crane.
Well, duh. He's on their payroll.
He wrote, "A close reading shows that its recommendations were supposed to deter and contain Japan, while better preparing the United States for a future conflict in the Pacific. There's an offhand remark that an overt Japanese act of war would make it easier to garner public support for actions against Japan, but the document's intent was not to ensure that ever happened."
Oh, no.
It's a poppycock. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this is a day that will live in infamy. Yes, many heroic acts occurred. No, you do not have the United States government to protect you. Sorry, that's not their job. Their job is to benefit themselves and their politically connected cronies. And, well, they can do that in many cases simply by fighting wars. And that's what they're... If they have to sacrifice your children to do it, they will.
Let's go to the phones here. We got Bad Slave on the line in New Hampshire. Listening online. Go ahead, Bad Slave.
Hi.
Hey, you're on the air.
Ian, thanks for taking my call. There was actually a reporter during the World War II, or the beginnings of, and before the attack on Pearl Harbor, that a reporter who was close to FDR, kind of had his ear and I guess got wind of the. It was actually electronic, radio. I think it was the Enigma. It was part of the thing that decoded the information of the attack that was predicted. And they knew exactly when, and
they knew when the attack was going to occur, supposedly, but there were cross communications that were going on. We're to believe that somehow
there was a mix-up.
Yeah, there's a mix-up.
Yeah.
Well, that is possible when it comes to the government.
Sure. It was very clear to this reporter that this was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And my understanding is, and I can't remember the guy's name. I read the text of some letter that was written from this reporter that actually, talked about him. Them doing jail time. He got thrown in a cell, so that things would occur, before, and he wouldn't be able to, spill the beans on that.
He needed to be silenced.
I really wanted to talk about the media during World War I, when the Lusitania. Was in fact, being loaded up with munitions. My understanding is that they actually had, operative guns on that ship. I mean, it was a semi-warship. I mean, it was not a passenger liner as the understanding.
The Lusitania is the ship that I referred to earlier.
That's the one that got sunk.
I don't know whether it had guns on it or not. I don't have a problem with a merchant vessel having guns on it, but if they need to protect themselves. But B, I don't know that happened.
I mean, many do. Many have limited guns so that they can warn off. I mean, a lot of pirate activity is just smaller ships. You don't really need
smaller ships with men willing to point guns at a larger ship.
10-inch gun or something to to take out cities or whatever. But the fact is that the press had become controlled, and there was actually a memo of it put into the congressional record.
You're talking about World War I?
Press control. Yeah, so now back to World War I, and basically the controlled press, pulled back the stories that the Germans tried to get to announce, because the Germans really didn't want to make enemies of America.
Well,
they.
They were sure trying to get Mexico to fight a war against the United States. I mean, Germany's not the good guy in this by any stretch.
Well, none of these countries are good guys.
No.
They're all
bad guys.
They're all run by thugs, including the United States. Thank you, Bad Slave, for the call. I appreciate it. There's more coming up here. 855, 450 free. Like freedom if you want to join us. It is Free Talk Live.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Normal blood pressure, naturally. How would that make you feel?
I'm Don from New Mexico. January of 2000, I had a heart attack. Then my real health began going downhill. I had high blood pressure, diabetes, poor vision. I wasn't sleeping well. I was a mess.
Don reports dramatic improvements with Heart and Body Extract.
I started taking Heart and Body Extract. From within a few days, I started sleeping better. My blood pressure normalized. My diabetes normalized. My sleep improved.
Experience these benefits and more when your body heals itself with the assistance of Heart and Body Extract. Order at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305.
And folks, I did not expect this at all. By the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, I saw dramatic improvements from taking Heart and Body Extract.
Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free and bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. So head over to discord.lrn.fm and you can jump into one of those, get on the air with us, sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. And by the way, I want to thank Andy Loy, who is a Free Talk Live Silver Amplifier. Andy gives $5 a month to Free Talk Live, and you could do that too. And the reason why he's doing it, I presume, is because he wants to help advertise, market, and promote Free Talk Live, AMP. That's what it stands for. And the idea is we're already on over 190 great radio stations across the country. We'd like to be on more. I think most of our listeners would, if you agree with liberty, you'd like to hear that the only syndicated pro-liberty talk show in the United States is on 400 stations.
For people to support the ideas of liberty, for us to have more liberty, people must support the ideas of liberty. For people to support the ideas of liberty, they must hear the ideas of liberty. For them to hear it, they're going to be, connected with the medium of their choice.
Right.
Many people, as a matter of fact, the most people of any medium in America listen to radio.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the people listening to talk radio specifically, which is usually neck and neck with country for being the number one format. Free Talk Live is, in the number one or number two format. Do you want them to hear the ideas of liberty or don't you? If you do, amp.freetalklive.com. It's simple arithmetic, people.
Yep, $5 a month, cost of a fancy cup of coffee or a big cheeseburger or something like that. If you can
at this
forego
point,
one of those.
If it's not even the fast food restaurants only have a few cheeseburgers that are lower than $5.
Yeah, no doubt. And we can do a lot with that money. We can reach out to radio stations. We can go to the industry conventions. We can buy them satellite hardware if we need to. We can also do some internet outreach as well. So to bring internet listeners in too, go to amp.freetalklive.com. You will get perks. You get some benefits like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, AMP-only podcast, the AMP-only Facebook group. There's special supporters, chat rooms on our Discord server. Go and get all the details and get signed up over at ampamp.freetalklive.com. You can use PayPal, you can use credit card, and Bitcoin BTC. It's amp.freetalklive.com. So we continue here. I guess a few closing thoughts on this McCollum memo. You said you'd gone through the story. Where was it from, by the way, that you were reading?
Wikipedia.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So looking into this 8-point memo that was quietly circulated amongst the elites in the White House during the Roosevelt administration.
And the Navy brass.
Yeah. And the idea was, hey, let's goad the Japanese government into attacking us because then we can go to war and that'll be good somehow.
Well, at the time, John Maynard Keynes was alive. Keynesian economics was well respected as this sort of magic
still
voodoo.
Is.
Yeah. Well, there's stuff about it that I tend to agree with, but this they're looking for this animal nature. They believe that the animal nature of the state would be, brought forth in war. That this is how it brings the nation together. And remember, this is all about fascism, statism, all that stuff's going on at the time. And so, yeah, that was the plan. We need a war to fix all this because FDR had failed.
What kind of crazy is we need a war to fix something? When in the hell has war ever fixed anything?
It worked to put the United States on top after World War II.
It did. I think he's right. It did, but at the same time, you actually kind of have to wonder because. So what I think you're looking at it from a more of a modern perspective as opposed to like a pre-World War II perspective, where back then you take over a country and you gain the fruits of war. You gain the country's resources.
Okay.
So if you're basically stealing, right? And when the United States entered the war, they're not fighting on U.S. soil. They're fighting on overseas soil. So furthering that war, the more destructive you are, it puts those countries into debt when they go to rebuild.
It puts them back.
Where are they purchasing?
They've got broken factories destroyed.
Where are they purchasing the equipment to rebuild their country? It's going to be from the United States, the only country that is.
Wow. That's sick.
If you look
capable of manufacturing anything.
Yeah, if you look at who was doing manufacturing, where had the Industrial Revolution bloomed prior to World War II? And
in the United States.
Well, in the United States, Great Britain, France, Germany, Japan, Russia to some extent.
Yeah.
You look around and see where it was, and then you see after World War II, which are the places that are bombed to hell?
Everywhere but the United States.
That's the answer. And so you can call it like either it's a plan. I don't think it was a plan. I think it was the result. I think it's call it providence, call it God's blessing, whatever you want to call it. The United States is just in a good place on the globe to not be attacked.
I think you might have a point. I don't necessarily know they went into it with the intention that they were going to profit from, basically in increasing war, right? I think their initial objective was probably more along the lines of, well, if we get into this war, we can, secure Japan or some other territory for the United States, as opposed to more of that perspective than we're going to profit off of the destruction.
I don't think
the war.
I feel like people would not have I would love to see the writings of the mad genius that said prior to World War II, if we can kick off a global conflict here, what it's going to do is Germany's going to bomb England for us, and then England's going to bomb Germany, then we'll bomb Germany. The Italians, they're busy drinking wine, forget about them. The French will be taken over, Russia will be nearly destroyed, and let's see who's left. Japan. They're on the up and coming, and they want to take over the stuff in the Pacific Rim, but we want the stuff in the Pacific Rim. We need to do something terrible to them. Oh, at the same time, we can show the commies that they're awful people by dropping nuclear weapons on Japan. This is brilliant, right?
Yeah, no.
I don't think they came up with that, but I think that's the result.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so let's say that ignoring the fact that
atomic weapons, not nuclear. Pardon me.
So, of course, we're ignoring the fact that the entire globe was worse off, right? Like all these countries destroyed. Sure, it might have benefited the United States economy, but that's just looking at that as sort of.
If you wanted a washing machine in 1947, where do you think that washing machine was going to come from?
Mm-hmm. But now that more of the world has become industrialized, would this be duplicatable? Or would you have to basically pull in, a huge...
Would this be duplicatable?
The whole concept of let's destroy everything but this country, and then everybody will have to buy stuff from this country.
No, so because the nations that do the production have nuclear weapons. Mm-hmm. So, no, it is not duplicatable. That can never happen again.
I think you also have another problem of...
The United States attacks people in tents now. Mm-hmm. You're a long way from going to war with the world's greatest nations to bombing people in tents.
We also don't produce anything. I think the benefit from encouraging other countries to go to war is the purchasing of military equipment, because they're doing it from the United States. So
we produce military equipment.
It's our military, industrial complex that is going to profit off of, but not necessarily, what causes what the result is. Because when another country goes to rebuild, they're not going to necessarily buy from the United States. They're going to be buying from probably China, where it's cheaper.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's more industrialization outside in the world, so there's more choices. So if you were going to do this plan or whatever, again, you'd have to destroy even more of the planet in order to make that even a possibility.
Yeah, I don't
Mark,
think
you're
it's
saying
possible.
It's not possible.
I sincerely hope no one thinks this is a good idea.
Yeah. Let's go to Matthew. He's in
bad idea for sure,
Louisiana, watching us on YouTube. Go ahead, Matthew.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in with a bit. I don't know if y'all have heard about this, but Patreon has decided, and probably they got some pressure to do this, to defund a number of the prominent YouTubers, including Carl Benjamin, Dave Cullen.
Who are these people? I don't know a lot of these names, so I don't.
Are these right wingers?
Well, they're to the right of Vladimir Lenin. Carl Benjamin also has the Sargon of Akkad channel, and Dave Cullen has Computing Forever. And so
what's the controversy? I mean, what are these guys?
Why are they banning them? This sounds like a tech show.
Right. Why are they being targeted?
They're being targeted primarily because they are anti-globalists. They're not especially what you would call right-wing. I mean, we've already discussed Milo Yiannopoulos. It would be difficult to classify him as a Nazi because he's, part Jew.
And gay.
And gay.
Queerer than a football bat.
And has a black husband. And, Dave Cullen is solidly in the center, Computing Forever. And Carl Benjamin, he's just a pro, Britain, British culture, centrist, really. He calls himself a classic liberal.
All right, stand by, Matthew. We'll look a little bit further into this. Again, more people being targeted apparently now. Patreon taking out certain controversial personalities from their fundraising platform. And what do you do about that? 855-450-FREE, like freedom. You can join us here. It's Free Talk Live.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Do you need extra cash to buy gifts or just to pay all those extra bills during the holidays? Well, now you can get cash fast this holiday season with a personal loan for up to $5,000 right from your phone or PC at 79cash.com. How fast can you get your cash? Well, with 79cash.com, our lenders can have your cash at your bank account as soon as tomorrow, regardless of your credit history. Just have a checking account and a regular source of income. Go to 79cash.com and you can get the cash loan you need now. So if you need cash fast this holiday season to buy gifts or pay all those extra bills, go to 79cash.com and get the cash you need. Visit 79cash.com. Type www.79cash.com directly into the address bar. That's 79cash.com. 79cash.com. 79cash.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of December 7th through the 9th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.48 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,240 per ounce. Zen is trading at $5, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,408. Antiwar.com reports Yemen's high-profile peace talks in Sweden are set to open, but already look to be on the brink of collapse, with both sides lashing out at one another and Houthi officials openly questioning whether the talks are even serious and worth pursuing. The big stumbling block is that, having finally gotten both sides to the table to discuss a settlement of the multi-year war, the pro-Saudi Hadi government reiterated the same demands they had at the start of the war, insisting that the Houthis unconditionally disarm and cede the city of Hodeidah to them. The Houthis are being a bit more modest in their goals, focusing on trying to get the Sana'a International Airport reopened to civilian traffic. They'd also like Hodeidah to remain open to aid, though that's a matter the UN is already pushing hard for without them. Though every side went into these talks expressing support for a peace process that would end the war, the Hadi government has continued to make it clear their demands are an unconditional victory, and as ever, that is putting a roadblock in front of serious efforts to start making a permanent deal. In 1999, Daryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, "Sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic." Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Daryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com. UPI reports dozens of college campuses suddenly closed without notice this week after parent company Education Corporation of America lost its accreditation and funding. The closing affects 75 campuses across the country, including Brightwood College, Brightwood Career Institute, Ecotech Institute, Gulf Academy of America, and Virginia College. The ECA announced that operations would be discontinued in December of 2018. Information about transferring, getting a transcript, and other general questions will be posted to the site around December 17th. The colleges serve serve at least 20,000 students, making it one of the largest for-profit colleges in the country. Enrollment has been declining for years, forcing the troubled chain to close 1/3 of its campuses and pursue a financial overhaul in the courts, but creditors would not relent as ECA fell behind on payments. On Tuesday, the Accrediting Council for Independent Colleges and Schools suspended the college's accreditation, meaning it can no longer operate. Diane Worthington, a spokeswoman for the company, said in a written statement, "After many years of training students for new careers, it is with a heavy heart that today we announce that Education Corporation of America is closing all of its career colleges, effective with the completion of the current module or term for most students." Alexis Garula, a student in the dental program at Brightwood College, said they don't really have any answers for us. We can take our final test and get credit for this last course. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports Republicans and Democrats in the U.S. Senate scrambled on Thursday to save an effort to overhaul America's prison policies and criminal sentencing standards, seen as a bipartisan win just weeks ago, but now up against a major obstacle. Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who controls the chamber's agenda, has not brought up the legislation for a vote, even though it is backed by President Donald Trump and perhaps as many as 70 senators, depending on how you're counting. High political stakes ride on the outcome, which some lawmakers see as a test of Congress's ability to pass any kind of bipartisan policy reform, even with White House support. With the Democrats taking over the House of Representatives in January and Republicans keeping their grip on the Senate, bipartisanship will be needed to get much done in 2019 and 2020, even if hyperpartisanship has been the norm in recent years. Entitled the First Step Act, the bill would make it easier for some deserving inmates to be released from prison into halfway houses or home confinement, create programs to reduce recidivism, and prevent first-time nonviolent offenders from facing harsh mandatory minimum sentences. Waiting for next year, they fear could give opponents more time to pick apart the current legislation. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
College roommates continue their bonding process until real friends are made, and a teacher hopes they never Google him. It's time for the weekly video feature that's heartier and more comforting than a heaping bowl of mom's butternut squash soup. This is the Onion Week in Review. Longtime James F. Blaine Elementary School teacher Suzanne Pomponio told reporters today that she could not believe how much fatter her second graders are getting. Pomponio estimates that each and every one of her kids must be 8 to 10 pounds heavier than anyone in her 2011 class, adding, quote, "and those kids were pretty fat too."
Honestly, I didn't think it was possible that this year's kids could be fatter than last year's, but they are. I mean, short kids are fat, tall kids are fat, and there's a smell. I don't really know how to describe it.
Local dad Michael Carrain navigated several discount travel websites today with a precision reminiscent of 18th century Viennese prodigy Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart composing a symphony.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Yep, it's Free Talk Live, and we're launching into the second hour of this radio program. You're invited to join us here on the radio. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Once again, according to our caller, Matthew, who is still on the line with us here, apparently more of people from the ostensible right wing being cut off of various different funding platforms. This latest round coming from Patreon, which we'll get into that coming up here. By the way, in the studio with you tonight, it's Ian.
And Chris.
And Mark.
Let's go back to Matthew in Louisiana. You had pointed out that you'd come across this news, and I've got it here, a story from Vice News, where crowdfunding site Patreon banned the accounts this week of several controversial public figures, part of a wider push by tech companies to deplatform users linked to the alt-right and far-right. The accounts of British conspiracy theorist, YouTuber Carl Benjamin, better known as Sargon of Akkad, and U.S. far-right political commentator James Alsop, were removed on Thursday, so yesterday. The ban will be a particular blow for Benjamin, who was earning more than $12,000 per month
from
the crowdfunding site.
Wow. Yeah.
And Benjamin did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
It's probably breathless.
Well, hopefully that wasn't the only, for his sake. I mean, I don't know how bad this guy is. I've never heard of him. I've certainly never seen anything he's ever done. I don't know how hateful or how alt-right or whatever he is, but, for his sake, hopefully he had another funding method.
Well, no, he doesn't, because he got doxxed from his regular job.
Okay.
And so he can't perform a regular job anymore because, he's the evil Sargon of Akkad. And he's not particularly, he's not particularly alt-right, whatever that means. I mean, I realize Vice News has a particular viewpoint, which, and so they consider everybody to the left, to the right of Vladimir Lenin alt-right. But, he isn't really all that radical. He's even somewhat libertarian. I mean, not in the purest sense of the word, because, being a nationalist, you have to believe in borders.
So is this is he like a British nationalist, basically?
Yes. He was a big supporter of the Brexit, which apparently seems to be heading into troubled waters, and he's supposed to be doing a rally either tomorrow or Sunday. It's a free speech rally. It has Tommy Robinson in it, too. So, at any rate, I just wanted to pass this information on, and I don't know what all can be done about this, really, because this, Vice News seems to be somewhat celebratory about this, but are they under the impression that the hammer isn't going to fall on them at some point?
Where's their money come from?
Yeah, good question. Do they have advertising on Vice?
Not that I've noticed. I mean, it doesn't seem that I haven't noticed those 12 weird fruits that'll help you lose weight or whatever thing at the bottom.
Hey, Matthew, thanks for bringing it to our attention. We can talk about, what people can do. Thank you. I appreciate it. As far as what you can do, well, actually, Chris, you were recommending, now you haven't had any personal experience, but your partner has, with a site called LiberaPay, as in LIBERAPAY.com.
Yeah, it's something that I would probably take a look at if you're looking for an alternative solution. I don't necessarily want to go telling people that they can't be shut down. I'm not sure of the details. It looks to me, and from what I understand, you could set up your own server if you want. So theoretically, it's sort of decentralized potentially, and even with
because it's based out of France, which means that you would be in hot water if you had any kind of controversial content under French law, because they have a lot of restrictions on freedom of speech there.
It may even be developed by people on the left. So
I suspect it is if they're from France,
possibly. So, but nonetheless, this is one area that I think libertarians and people on the left actually see eye to eye on a little bit.
People from France and Germany also developed Mastodon, which is the decentralized alternative to Twitter that we've been promoting here on Free Talk Live, because, as you explained with what you believe to be the case with LiberaPay, we're not sure, but with Mastodon, you can definitely run your own server.
Absolutely.
So you can take this great software that was developed probably by leftists, because if you join their main server, it says you've got to follow the laws of France and Germany if you're on that server, which means that you can't say certain things because there's severe restrictions on freedom of speech in those countries. But if you spin up your own server, then you can have whatever rules set that you want for your server. And so somebody did that.
Or just joining a server of some other like-minded people.
Correct. So Liberdon, for instance, which is the libertarian Mastodon server, that's where the Free Talk Live account is hosted, which you can find over at toot.freetalklive.com. It's a way to follow our social media posts, but not be relying on a centralized platform, or at least as much of a centralized platform, because it's still a server in Iraq somewhere that's managed by a person who you don't know. So, I mean, Liberdon, we don't know who runs that server. They're a purported libertarian.
But you could set up your own server, and the servers interconnect. So unless one of the servers operators, say maybe somebody who's on a lefty server, could block somebody who's on a righty server.
Correct. They don't have to have the interconnections.
But otherwise, it's generally speaking, and even then, I think usually you can still message people. It's just their stuff won't show up on your feed or something like that.
So that's one example of sort of a decentralized alternative to a centralized platform. But specifically when it comes to fundraising, things get a little trickier because, what we saw after the initial purge of, let's say, Christopher Cantwell, who was a former co-host here on Free Talk Live, before he became a racist. He was a host on this show, and then we ended up having to kick him off because he became a racist. And after he got deplatformed from like PayPal and I think Stripe or one of those credit card processors, he popped up, or there was a site that popped up called Hatreon. And
well, it's a clever name.
It is clever. And I was surprised when I found out that it was actually Cody Wilson, the founder of Defense Distributed, who apparently was behind the Hatreon site. But it didn't last very long because apparently Visa broke up with Hatreon. So again, you know, when it comes to processing payments, there are only so many ways that you can do that sort of inside the system with credit cards, because ultimately you're relying on these big banks. And we've seen some of them respond to these pressure campaigns to stop doing business. Some big banks have stopped doing business with gun manufacturers now.
Yeah, look,
you can't have an account if you're, you know, Remington.
I don't think you should have to do business with anybody you don't want to do business with.
No doubt.
But
it also puts you at risk.
Yeah, this is why cryptocurrencies were created, people, is so that it would protect ideas of freedom of speech and that sort of thing. If the ideas of, what did we mention here, racism, separatism, whatever these ideas are bad.
They're not our ideas, but we're just talking about the issue here.
I'm pretty sure you're a separatist.
No, I'm not.
You don't want to separate yourself from the United States government?
Oh, well, that's different. I don't want to be separate from people because of their, color of their skin.
I understand.
Whatever. And I'm fine living near people who work for as long as they don't force themselves on me.
This one guy got canned for being a Brexit supporter.
Well, we don't know. I mean, our caller was acting like he was like no big deal, but we don't know. We've never heard a single thing he said.
I haven't heard a single thing he said, but that's what the Vice article said.
Yeah. Well, no, the Vice article called him a far-right, or a British conspiracy theorist. And then the other guy is apparently a U.S. far-right political commentator.
Maybe I got the two sources mixed up there.
But either way, we're talking about the alternatives here. So this Hatreon site, which, they probably got taken down because of the name. But, he should have come up with something else, even though it is clever.
It is a great name.
But they got taken down, and I don't know how long they even lasted. It didn't seem like it was that long. And then, of course, later on, Cody Wilson ended up getting arrested for something completely unrelated. So that one's off the table. There was another one that was created by, you may remember the dude who did the Ron Paul blimp, Trevor Lyman.
Yes.
So he contacted me this summer, I think it was, and told me about his new site, MediaBacker.org. And I went and I checked it out, and it was an alternative to Patreon. The idea was you could back the media project like Free Talk Live or...
Heck, why not?
Yeah, I think he opened up with Scott Horton as his first project there, and you could back the project that you wanted. You could pledge an amount. It would come out of your credit card. It would do it monthly. So it was your typical monthly kind of subscription thing that he was doing. And, I was like, I wanted to support this at least enough to sign up for it, and I just tried going back to it tonight, and the site's completely gone. So... that didn't work out. That didn't even make it 4 months.
Yeah.
5 months. And this other one, this Libera, what was it, LiberaPay? LiberaPay?
Yeah, it's Libera.
They don't have high volumes, by the way. There's more coming up here.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses on the setup page, and then load the app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. AnyPay.global.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and you are invited here to join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. It's 855-450-3733. We're talking about more accounts being shuttered, in this case by Patreon, stopping apparently some, what they describe at Vice News as alt-right/far-right users of the platform. We'll tell you a little bit more about that, and what are the alternatives? Chris, you are suggesting one that seems to be a possibility of, maybe some people could utilize it. LibraPay.
I would say take a look at it and see if it might work for you. I don't know if it.
You don't have personal experience.
Yeah,
with
I don't have personal experience. My partner has used it. He certainly has had issues with it, but he's also very particular, to say the least. And yeah. So, but also, they've also changed. They've had to make changes because they've also run into issues where, companies wouldn't do business with them directly, so they had to modify it so you can set up your own account that then links to it, and similar to get around some of those problems.
Everybody loves a choo-choo train, but they've outlived their usefulness, buoyed by our nostalgia and propelled by tax dollars. In his new work, Romance of the Rails, Why the Passenger Trains We Love Are Not the Transportation We Need, historian Randall O'Toole covers the illustrious history of the locomotive and unwinds our fond memories from fantasy. Published by the Cato Institute, Romance of the Rails is the perfect gift for those that love trains. Get Romance of the Rails by Randall O'Toole at Amazon and all major bookstores.
Doesn't that some great copy?
It is great.
That is great copy.
Did you write that?
I did.
Every
single word of that is mine.
Good for you. That one was a good one.
It is a good one.
And I didn't see any glaring spelling errors
I hate
either.
you.
So.
I hate you just a little more every day. I go to sleep at night grinding my teeth hating you.
So we're going to continue here. Let's go to your calls and thoughts, but then more about what's going on with Patreon coming down on certain controversial accounts. First, she's Sarah in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Sarah.
I have that comment about the Into the Train book. I just want to say, did you know that they try to stop the Amtrak service from Kansas City to Albuquerque, and then it starts with a train ride from Albuquerque to L.A. But they wanted everybody to ride the bus from Kansas City to Albuquerque. So
yeah,
that
Amtrak has a lot of buses. That especially out west that run. It's kind of interesting that the train company relies on some buses to get itself around. Yeah,
that's kind of funny. Well, but if there's not enough people demanding service, then it kind of makes sense.
The tracks don't go everywhere, so you got to get.
They used to. They could have been maintained.
Even where they do have service, train service still. I've noticed that certain hours it's only bus service.
Yeah, it looks like the train's running from Albuquerque to Kansas City now, Sarah.
Right. But this was a couple of months. It was the Congress at the time, and then our Heinrich and the Udall, our two senators, had to put a stop to it because the Congress that was Republican at that time, they were going to put a stop to it, and so that line is called the Southwest Chief that comes from Kansas City all the way to L.A. I ride that one all the time.
Oh, really? When you're on it, Sarah, how long is your trip generally?
Well, I just ride it from here to L.A., That's the part that I ride.
So a day?
That sounds long.
Well, just 15 hours.
15 hours. So how many people would you say is on a given car that you're on there, out of, as a percentage of the car? How full is it?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I see like maybe a 60%, 70% on that route,
And other times?
I mean, that must be a popular route from Albuquerque to Los Angeles and back.
Best I can tell is that the trains aren't running full enough to make them make sense financially.
Well, that's okay. The government runs it, so they can just subsidize.
Well, right. And when somebody says, well, this is just not making any financial sense, some senator steps in and says, bah, I have to protect my constituents. They don't have to do that with airplanes.
Well, you know what? I know the real reason why the Congress, the reason why they're fighting the train is to make more money for the petroleum industry. They want everybody to either fly or ride a car or ride the bus that all uses petroleum.
What do you think the train uses?
Do the trains not use petroleum?
We call them diesel engines.
Wait a minute. You mean there's not a guy with a stack of coal in the back of the car?
What in the world would you want that for? It's
shoveling?
a dirtier fuel. The only clean... there are no nuclear trains, Sarah.
In the U.S. or anywhere in the world?
I don't know.
Well, the thing is, the amount of... it does, I guess, use diesel, but the amount of the petroleum that the airplane... If you force people to use airplanes and ride the bus and the car, they make tons of money, and that's all...
It's a weak conspiracy theory, Sarah, the idea that anybody who's against trains is against them because they're in favor of the petroleum industry. That's what you're saying?
Well, it was a Republican Congress, and they were all in with the big oil money.
You don't think the Democrats also get money from the oil companies?
Well, the Democrats love the unions, and Amtrak is all union.
But the thing about it is that the Democrat wants to expand and make the Amtrak better. We have a Democrat Congress now.
So the reality is that Amtrak is basically a bus company. I mean, if you look at the routes, there are more routes that are bus routes than there are routes that are train routes.
Yeah, I believe that.
Sarah, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. If the thing can exist in the market, great. if the passenger rail is something that the market can support, then
read
by all
Romance
means,
of the Rails, and you will realize that it cannot.
It can't. Yeah.
It's interesting that we're talking about trains and subsidies and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
because the roads are subsidized. They're subsidized by tax dollars, and I'd be curious to see what the cost difference is
if
and
you
whether
took
or
away
not-
all
if
the
you took away
subsidies
all
from
the
all of
subsidies
it.
From all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, good question. Well, of course, are the airlines also subsidized in the fact that the government runs the airports?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe partially.
Right, because otherwise the airlines
Certainly in
themselves
Keene
would-
they are. Certainly the Keene airport is.
All governments. I mean, almost all airports, the international airports, the ones that we all travel through,
Yeah,
are all
Manchester,
subsidized and
Manchester,
regulated.
appears to be too.
Yeah. So how would it all change if the airlines themselves had to say,
People would still want to get around, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure.
If it costs more, if it costs less, I don't know.
it will happen? Yeah, either way. It just would be interesting to see if things organize themselves differently, and if so, how they would. Of course, that's a whole other alternative world we don't live in.
And the other thing is how does the past, which has already subsidized something, affect the future? So it may not have worked if we had never subsidized it. It may one thing might make sense, the other might not. But because we already did it, it's now leading in a different direction.
Now, of course, there's also a product that's moved on rails, and perhaps that's more of a viable business in the absence of government subsidy, but I don't know.
It's the one question that I'm kicking myself for not asking Randall O'Toole during that particular interview. I even had it written down.
Ah, drat.
And it just didn't happen.
You have to read the book.
Well, yeah. I did read the book. I read parts of the book.
Well, the title suggests, because they talk about how
It says
passenger trains are not the transportation we need.
Right.
So it suggests that maybe there's a chance.
Best I can tell, yes, that it makes sense to move things to general locations on rail and then distribute from there on truck.
All right, toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Take control of the airwaves on Free Talk Live.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Now, there is Reveal. Beverly Hills celebrity dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman took nearly a decade to develop Reveal from natural botanicals to return to a full-body head of hair. Reveal for men and women with a 30-day money-back guarantee at gcnlife.com or toll-free 844-443-6637. 844-443-6637. Reveal at gcnlife.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Pure Life Water, helping you drink better and live better by providing a zero-calorie alternative to sugary drinks. Visit us at nestle-purelife.us. When kids are playing, they often don't want to stop to keep hydrated, so send them out with a bottle of water and encourage them to take frequent drink breaks, or call them inside for a quick sip. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free. Join us right here if you want to talk on the radio with us about anything. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We are going to be heading to Acapulco in a matter of 2 months, basically.
I'm excited.
It's coming up fast. February 14th through the 17th, you'll be able to see all kinds of great people, including Ron Paul, who will be returning. He was there in 2018. He's going to be coming back in 2019, and there's a good chance it was Ron Paul that sold out 2018, but it was a really good event even without Ron Paul, of course. There's dozens of speakers that attend Anarchapulco. They'll be talking about everything from entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, to personal relationships for 4 days among the sun and beaches of a world-class resort. You can go to anarchapulco.com and get a list of the speakers they've announced so far. They're going to be announcing more, of course, as the event gets closer, but then again, the longer you wait to get tickets, the more, if you're waiting for more people to be announced, you usually end up paying more because they want you to commit sooner rather than later. And so prices tend to go up the closer the event actually gets to happen.
Plus, if you're trying to play some game where you get it like in right at the end of the 2,900th ticket of 3,000 that they're going to sell, and there are 3,000 tickets.
Not a good game to play.
It slips your mind for a week, and then you're not going to Anarchapulco.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to go into the event. You're not going to get a ticket to the event.
Right.
Not to mention hotel rooms and things like that.
Right. Right.
They bought out the whole hotel,
correct.
So you're basically not going on the site.
Yeah. You got to get your tickets now over at anarchapulco.com, code FTL. It was more than 2/3 sold out, and that was a month ago when we asked Jeff Berwick that down in he was in Texas when we were at the Texas Bitcoin conference.
Right.
So they were more than 2/3 sold out at that point, and that was more than a month ago. So, this is something.
There might be 500 tickets left.
If you've heard about us, have heard us talking about this, if you heard us broadcasting from there for the last 2 years, it's a great event. It is the premier event as far as libertarians, anarcho-capitalists, voluntarists, free thinkers. This is the place to go. It's February 14th through the 17th. We will be there broadcasting Free Talk Live from the event, and we'll look forward to seeing you if you're there. Anarchapulco.com, use code FTL, and you will get a discount when you use that code at anarchapulco.com. Let's go to the phones. To the fun, we got Dillman88 on the line on our Discord call-in line. Go ahead, Dillman.
Hey, guys. Hey. So I had a question about cryptocurrencies.
Sure.
Right now, as we're seeing a downturn in the market, would it make sense to try to pick up a secondhand hardware miner and try to get into the mining now, or is it still not profitable to look at something like that?
Best I can tell, it's never profitable to do mining. I mean,
I've never met anyone who's had much success with it.
Yeah, I mean, mining seems to be things that people want to, the thing
It's
that
a
people want to
hobby.
talk about and all that stuff. And I've seen a lot of people do it, and I have yet to find anybody who does it and makes money at it.
Well, somebody's got to be making money at it because there's people doing it in large scale.
Yeah.
I mean, mega, servers, racks and racks of.
They've got basically free electricity, free space, and then they're doing it in huge
I've
quantities.
seen people fail with free electricity.
Yeah.
Walmart makes money selling spatulas. I don't recommend you buy a knife and start whittling out spatulas
But there's
and
a
attempting
difference
to compete with Walmart.
There's a difference between making 3 cents off of each server, and if you do that with enough servers, it's not going to be worth your or my time to set it up. But it would be maybe if you're doing it in huge quantities, huge numbers.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's got to work for some people out there. And
that is the mantra of people that get into mining. It's got to work for somebody.
Right.
But all I'm saying is that my recommendation from my experience up to this point, from everybody I've seen ever, it doesn't seem like a good idea.
I had one mining contract with Bitcoin.com that was a winner, and then the next one I lost big time.
Yeah, I had one with Bitcoin.com. It was a winner.
Might as well just roll some dice.
Yeah, and then later it doesn't make much sense.
So it seems to me like something that people do out of a love for the network as far as on an individual basis to essentially do it as a hobby. But as far as individuals with their mining equipment, there was one guy that we go to a meetup here, a cryptocurrency meetup in the area, and there's one guy who was always mining. He was always mining something, but now he
wasn't
stopped.
making any money from it though.
He claimed that for a time that he was, but when we saw him this last week, I asked him, "Hey, Bruce, what are you mining?" And he says, "I'm not. I'm looking for a new place to put my miner."
True.
So he wants to locate up in Quebec or over in Washington State, where apparently the power
someplace with free electricity,
is
right?
cheaper.
You can't tell these mining guys. They're going to mine no matter what you say.
So I don't want to discourage you, Dillman88, but that's been our experience.
Okay. So one other quick question then.
Yeah.
There are 2 new crypto cell phones that are coming out or about to be released.
Really?
Is that all vaporware, or do you think those are actually going to be real products?
I don't know anything about it. What are they called?
One of them is by HTC. It's called the Exodus, and the other one is by Seren Labs, and it's called the Finny.
Call me skeptical.
Oh yeah, the Finny. I remember this. Yeah.
What do you know about it?
I don't know anything about it.
I know that if you put the words AI or blockchain on anything, it sells
It's
for
going
more.
to sell. According to lifehacker.com, in a story filed this week on Wednesday, nothing has signaled that we finally entered the cyber future more than the rise of blockchain networks and cryptocurrency, and that makes HTC's upcoming blockchain-based smartphone, the HTC Exodus One. I don't know. One of the most cyberpunk and strange devices yet. As with
somebody glued some weird devices on it to make it steampunk.
As with most things blockchain and crypto related, it can be difficult to get a sense of what the Exodus One actually is.
And there you go.
Yeah,
it's all marketing.
And what is it? And what it is that makes it different from every other smartphone you can buy. So we've put together this guide to teach you more about the Exodus One, including why you'd want or not want one, and how to get it. The Exodus One is a blockchain-powered smartphone that also serves as a digital cryptocurrency wallet and secure data vault. It was conceived of and designed by HTC's decentralized chief officer. Phil Chen was also on the development team that created their Vive VR headset. On paper, the Exodus One sounds similar to other manufacturers' flagships, and then they go down the memory and the RAM, or the memory and the processor and all that stuff. And so it's got those things. By most measures, these are generally flagship-worthy specs. Of course, the Exodus One's real selling point is its blockchain integration, and that it doubles as a hardware wallet for your digital cryptocurrencies. Because, you want to carry around a hardware wallet everywhere you go so you can lose it somewhere. How many times have you misplaced your phone?
Even more important is that what the crypto geeks always forget is that all the encryption in the world isn't going to stop a guy with a hammer that's going to bang you in your knee until you tell him the password.
I mean, call me skeptical. Usually the way these phones are designed are such that the modem has control over the rest of the device. You can't really trust your phone to be secure in the first place. They're not secure devices.
So you're saying no matter what the promises are, you question
I'm
this.
highly skeptical of it. Yeah, I mean, I mean, theoretically, they could maybe separate, stuff out. But look, I mean, you're talking about $30 million or $50 million or something, some insane amount of money in order to do a design, a more unique design, especially with the kind of specs that they're probably advertising on it. So I'm skeptical that it's anything more than, anything other more than marketing.
Well, they claim here that every Exodus One is a node in HTC's own blockchain network.
So what?
And the smartphone runs open source blockchain-based apps known as dApps to process transactions. Each user within the network will be able to trade cryptocurrency with each other, their devices acting as a wallet for their digital currencies, which of course raises questions about security. To keep your crypto safe, HTC implemented the Trust Zone Secure Enclave on the Exodus One, something you won't find on your average Android phone.
Oh, okay.
They claim this is a hardware-based mini operating system that acts like a digital bank vault, helping you manage your crypto assets and processes.
I know what this is.
And running in parallel with the phone's Android 8.1 operating system. Any data protected by Trust Zone is cordoned off and unreadable to everything else on the phone, including the Android OS and anything running on it. So they claim. But is it open source?
No, and it's not only is it proprietary, but it's flawed. So this is a technology that's in all sorts of different devices and like laptops and desktops and everything nowadays.
So
it's totally flawed.
Our initial opinion here, Dillman, is that, is it going to be vaporware in that it doesn't show up? Well, no, it's probably going to show up. It's HTC. They're going to release it.
If you want things like this in the future, you have to support them now, though.
Good call. Thanks, Dillman. Appreciate it. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of LicoChops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved LicoChops with Omega-6, Omega-3, Vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try LicoChops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Now, there is Reveal. Beverly Hills celebrity dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman took nearly a decade to develop Reveal from natural botanicals to return to a full-body head of hair. Reveal for men and women with a 30-day money-back guarantee at GCNlife.com or toll-free 844-443-6637. 844-443-6637. Reveal at GCNlife.com.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. Makes the perfect stocking stuffer. Get your Bug Assault today and save $10 on the Bug Beam Laser Combo, only at bugassault.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live dialed, so free to bring up whatever you want and take control of the airwaves here. We were talking about, we were going to talk about cryptocurrency tonight, so I'm glad our last caller, Dillman, brought this new blockchain phone up from HTC, and there was another one he mentioned. I don't remember what that one was called. But, you know, the blockchain revolution or evolution is definitely going on, and it's become a buzzword, as you said, Mark. Anybody that puts blockchain in front of whatever it is that they're doing, blockchain pizza is going to get people crazy about that particular pizza, because anybody that announces
it's great
blockchain,
technology.
Well, blockchain is good technology.
Blockchain is great technology, but it isn't necessary for everything. You don't need blockchain radio.
Yep, correct.
You don't need a decentralized online ledger, where a bunch of different computers sync up to the same thing in radio. It just doesn't make sense.
Which you're
in banking,
what a blockchain
it makes a lot of sense.
There are so many situations where people are trying to make blockchain solve a non-problem, something that you don't even have a problem, and they're trying to use it to fix it.
Yeah, and also you mentioned banks, but any place where you've got a ledger or some sort of important document that needs to not be changed or modified, blockchain can
Or when
allow
it is modified, because blockchain can be modified, but when it is modified, it then becomes immutable.
Correct. And it can't be the books can't be cooked, basically, with proper implementation of blockchain. It makes things more honest, and that's valuable.
Trustless is the terminology they use.
Yeah. It's very valuable. So we'll continue here. By the way, I do want to let you know, speaking of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, the Free Talk Live is brought to you by Bitcoin.com, and that is where you can go to learn the basics. Right now, Bitcoin, earlier today, flirting yesterday, $3,333. It hit that low point.
That's about what it is now.
And
it's down to 32.10.
32.10 right now?
No, it's at 34.33.
Yeah. Okay, so it's come back a little bit.
We're on a bull run, people.
Some are saying it's going to go down as far as 500.
It's a rare new breed of success.
Some are saying it's going to go down as far as $500 per Bitcoin. Now, who knows what's actually going to happen?
There are other people saying it's going to go up to $1 million.
But there's no way to know. The best thing
both are probably true.
The best thing you can do is learn about it by going to Bitcoin.com. You can learn about it there through their Bitcoin Academy, Bitcoin.com Academy, over at Bitcoin.com. Plus, if you want to get the latest news headlines about the world of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, they've got them over on their news site at news.bitcoin.com. As we continue here, again, one of our callers brought up this HTC blockchain phone, which I know I'd seen something about this in the news headlines, but I never really took the time to take a look at it here.
I pretty much skipped over. I read the blurbs of the phones that were coming out.
Well, you're a huge privacy guy, and that's one of the things you do over at thinkpenguin.com is you actually sell privacy-centric, privacy-oriented equipment like Linux-based computers and routers.
Do you have privacy-oriented phones?
No, and the reason we don't
is there aren't any.
Because you can't really design a phone in any kind of cost-effective way, even if you're a larger company, because there's not enough of a market for it, so nobody's going to actually do it. And
Well, there will be a market for this one.
It might be doable, but it's not going to happen anytime soon because somebody who really has an interest is going to have to focus on it and not necessarily do it for the money, I think is what's going to happen.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a mass market appeal phone, that's for sure. And it's not going to be cheap either, apparently, according to the folks over at lifehacker.com. This new HTC blockchain phone is going to, what's it called?
It's grand.
Exodus 1. Yeah, it's going to be like around $1,000 US. And of course, it's only going to appeal to people that understand what, or at least have some concept of what blockchain is and why it's valuable. So to the crypto geek world, who tend to be fairly moneyed. So, there's definitely a market, I would say, for this particular device.
Maybe.
Any device that is trying harder to be secure interests me. I get that it's not secure, and if Chris says it's not secure,
Chris says it's fundamentally flawed,
and that may be so. But
because it's a phone, basically.
More secure is better than less secure, right?
I mean, yeah, I think you may even write it on the air. It's an enclave basically in the phone. So it's supposed to be you're supposed to be able to run a program on a separate CPU.
Their trust zone.
And then the main CPU is not able to access it. So if there's some sort of malware on the phone, that
can't touch it.
You can't touch it. But in practice, that's not really the case because there's flaws and it's not. They're just taking advantage of something that's already in the technology that they're building the phone off of. And so it's potentially, like, theoretically, like, conceptually, it's sort of kind of a good idea, but it doesn't really work because it's flawed in the implementation.
Exodus 1 users manage their cryptocurrencies via the Zion crypto wallet, which securely stores Bitcoin and Ethereum across a decentralized network.
Now that's two
whole
cryptocurrencies. Okay.
The wallet can even be used to make payments in apps with Zion integration. And it says here, the security method differs from what is known as cold storage, the offline cryptocurrency storage method where keys are stored directly on a device, like Siren Labs' upcoming Finny blockchain phone. Maybe that was the other one that he mentioned.
Yeah.
While cold storage is ultimately safer from hackers, it's not without risks, since losing or damaging your phone would mean losing access to your crypto keys for
That's
good.
very, very bad, people.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you have a backup, though, still?
One would presume.
You would think. And they have a plan with the Exodus phone.
I have no interest in carrying around all the crypto that I manage
no.
with me.
No.
So it sounds ridiculous.
Should you lose your Exodus phone, on the other hand, you'll be able to regain access to your Zion wallet using social key recovery, or what they call code sharding. This works similarly to Facebook's recently implemented account recovery system. You select up to 5 contacts who are sent part, or a shard, of a code that you can use to log back into a locked account. Be careful, though. The contacts you select will need to download an app. And if they lose access to their device or their part of the code, then you won't be able to regain access to your wallet. Why on earth you would want to put access to or a code that you would rely on to recover your device?
This sounds like
in the hands of grandma.
Yeah, it sounds like bad idea written all over this.
Yeah. Sounds pretty dangerous. The Exodus One's name
It better just be phones that you have in your house that go access.
Apt, as the device is part of the wider blockchain project to decentralize digital information and data at large, giving people control over their data, introducing transparency to various financial systems and marketplaces. And this quote from the Exodus Design Principles explains, quote, "We believe we can rebuild the internet together by empowering the people to own their own identities, personal data, and assets." Now, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that.
That's a good idea. Giving people more control over their own lives, giving people more control over their own data, decentralization, and the fact that companies are seeing this as valuable is ultimately a good shift.
Yeah.
It's a shift in the right direction, even if this is a flawed.
Will they see it as valuable if nobody buys this phone, though?
Yeah. Well, it's even been suggested, says lifehacker.com, that the open source decentralized bookkeeping and computing of the blockchain could be used from everything from voting to healthcare records.
It'd be great for voting.
To more demanding.
It should work for healthcare records.
Computer processes like graphics rendering. Following the Exodus 1, the key designer, Chen, hopes to deliver a more affordable crypto phone aimed at unbanked and underbanked people throughout the world. These are people who have limited to no access to secure and affordable banking.
$1,000 phone?
He says a more affordable phone.
So they're talking about a more affordable version of the phone.
He's saying after this one,
he
wants to do a cheaper one.
Once we sell a whole bunch of these to people.
Something tells me that they're probably not going to be doing a $100 phone.
Probably not, but we'll see.
But yeah.
He says whether that be due to where they live, their economic status, or other factors, nearly 19% of Americans are underbanked, while 6.5% are unbanked, while globally it's estimated that about 20% of the world's population is unbanked. Because of this, even the UN has expressed interest in Chen's product, which is not good news. Before that can happen, though, cryptocurrencies need to overcome their many hurdles, including their niche status, prohibitively long transaction times. Well, that's not true. High computing power requirements. That's not really that true either.
Yeah.
Wildly shifting values. Okay, that's true.
So
sometimes
high computing costs certainly are a reality to some extent. So Roger Ver bragged that he brought on the computing power of the Hoover Dam in order to combat Craig Wright in this most recent hash war that came to pass. That's a lot of computing power. A day's worth of the Hoover Dam is a lot of computing power. However, what do you get for it, and what does the legacy banking system cost in power? So you compare it. You compare it to what it's competing against.
Right, it's not in a vacuum.
And also, what are you getting for it? Let's not forget that the
security, ownership of your own money for the first time ever,
control over your own money.
Besides all of that. For everybody else, even if you don't own any cryptocurrency, computing technology has been driven forward. The estimates are 6 to 8 months. We're in the future now of computer technology.
You mean like the graphics cards that are being designed to mine? That's what it means.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say that.
Because the graphics cards are selling like hotcakes.
Right.
And so there's a lot more money being dumped into that particular market segment, so those companies are doing more development as a result. Because they're trying to top one another.
If progress is worth something, then it's probably worth that.
Yeah. I honestly, I think the comparison to the banking system and how much power they must use is the most interesting one, because no one's ever done that estimate.
And what about the currency itself?
The U.S. currency?
Or physical currency, yeah.
Printing it?
Yeah, printing it and maintaining it.
And delivering it and moving it.
And moving it.
More coming up. Fluorescent lights.
How well and how fast does Heart and Body Extract work to improve blood circulation? Listen.
My name is Ellis, and I'm 66 years old, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed as having clogged arteries. I had 70% blockage in one artery leading to my heart. They wanted me to go on Plavix, but I refused, knowing the negative side effects.
Heart and Body Extract is a unique balance, synergy, and proportion of herbs reaching from head to toe at maximum absorption around 95% at the cellular level.
Within the first month, I felt a dramatic difference. The heaviness in my legs was reduced, and within 2 months, I felt completely normal.
Your natural organic herbal formula for heart health is Heart and Body Extract. Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract. Call 866-295-5305, 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of December 7th through the 9th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.48 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,240 per ounce. Zen is trading at $5, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,408. Antiwar.com reports Yemen's high-profile peace talks in Sweden are set to open, but already look to be on the brink of collapse, with both sides lashing out at one another and Houthi officials openly questioning whether the talks are even serious and worth pursuing. The big stumbling block is that, having finally gotten both sides to the table to discuss a settlement of the multi-year war, the pro-Saudi Hadi government reiterated the same demands they had at the start of the war, insisting that the Houthis unconditionally disarm and cede the city of Hodeidah to them. The Houthis are being a bit more modest in their goals, focusing on trying to get the Sana'a International Airport reopened to civilian traffic. They'd also like Hodeidah to remain open to aid, though that's a matter the UN is already pushing hard for without them. Though every side went into these talks expressing support for a peace process that would end the war, the Hadi government has continued to make it clear their demands are an unconditional victory, and as ever, that is putting a roadblock in front of serious efforts to start making a permanent deal. In 1999, Darryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, "Sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic." Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Darryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com. UPI reports dozens of college campuses suddenly closed without notice this week after parent company Education Corporation of America lost its accreditation and funding. The closing affects 75 campuses across the country, including Brightwood College, Brightwood Career Institute, Ecotech Institute, Gulf Academy of America, and Virginia College. The ECA announced that operations would be discontinued in December of 2018. Information about transferring, getting a transcript, and other general questions will be posted to the site around December 17th. The colleges serve at least 20,000 students, making it one of the largest for-profit colleges in the country. Enrollment has been declining for years, forcing the troubled chain to close 1/3 of its campuses and pursue a financial overhaul in the courts. But creditors would not relent as ECA fell behind on payments. On Tuesday, the Accrediting Council for Independent Colleges and Schools suspended the college's accreditation, meaning it can no longer operate. Diane Worthington, a spokeswoman for the company, said in a written statement, "After many years of training students for new careers, it is with a heavy heart that today we announce that Education Corporation of America is closing all of its career colleges, effective with the completion of the current module or term for most students." Alexis Garula, a student in the dental program at Brightwood College, said, "They don't really have any answers for us. We can take our final test and get credit for this last course." Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports Republicans and Democrats in the U.S. Senate scrambled on Thursday to save an effort to overhaul America's prison policies and criminal sentencing standards, seen as a bipartisan win just weeks ago, but now up against a major obstacle. Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who controls the chamber's agenda, has not brought up the legislation for a vote, even though it is backed by President Donald Trump and perhaps as many as 70 senators, depending on how you're counting. High political stakes ride on the outcome, which some lawmakers see as a test of Congress's ability to pass any kind of bipartisan policy reform, even with White House support. With the Democrats taking over the House of Representatives in January and Republicans keeping their grip on the Senate, bipartisanship will be needed to get much done in 2019 and 2020, even if hyperpartisanship has been the norm in recent years. Entitled the First Step Act, the bill would make it easier for some deserving inmates to be released from prison into halfway houses or home confinement, create programs to reduce recidivism, and prevent first-time nonviolent offenders from facing harsh mandatory minimum sentences. Waiting for next year, they fear could give opponents more time to pick apart the current legislation. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Do you sometimes feel that healthy eating can be a lot of work with very little reward? Well, no need to worry any longer. Here are the Onion's tips for healthy eating. First, identify your weaknesses, and then condition yourself to avoid problem foods by associating them with deceased relatives, unrequited loves, and traumatic events. Remember, Alcohol is a source of empty calories, so be sure to keep your drinking under control. Unless you're really stressed out, like if something happens at work or if your cat gets hit by a car. If you find yourself suddenly craving a fatty food, let yourself enjoy the best of both worlds. Tape a slice of ham to your tongue and slowly absorb the taste throughout the day without swallowing. Stay motivated by paying yourself $1 every day until you meet your weight loss goals. At the end of 10 years' time, spend that cash on a cosmetic operation of your choice. There, now you're ready to begin your new healthy lifestyle.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free to bring up anything that you want. Our number here, 855-450, free like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. And good participation here tonight. Listeners bringing up things that we didn't necessarily intend to bring to the table. I like it when that happens because, you know, throws us different topics.
That's the project, right? That's the idea here on Free Talk Live is that you
can
call
contribute.
in, and you get to participate with the show and bring up topics, and if they're interesting, we're going to stick with them.
Otherwise, we will come up with stuff to discuss, and of course, cryptocurrency has been on the minds of a lot of those of us who follow that world over the last few weeks, last year, last forever, but specifically over the last month. It's been a brutal several weeks for basically every cryptocurrency on the planet.
Probably the only person who's still spending it.
Who, me and you?
Yeah, me, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm spending it.
Are you
too.
still spending it?
Of
Oh,
course.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're activists. We care about crypto. We want to see it succeed, and so we're willing to go out and spend it. Although, actually, normally using Purse.com or SaveItPurse.com is a pretty useful thing, but
I haven't actually used it.
Yeah, on the downturn, when it's on a downturn, you have
Mostly
to keep feeding money into it.
Yeah,
so,
mostly local is what I've been doing.
But anyway, I got a piece here from Bloomberg. They interviewed friend of Free Talk Live, Roger Ver. He's the owner of the operator behind Bitcoin.com, longtime sponsor here at Free Talk Live. And the headline here is "Future of Crypto is brighter than ever," says Bitcoin's Ver, Bitcoin.com's Ver. And so I wanted to, let's get a little positivity here in a what appear to be very dark times, by the way. If you look at the, I've got a handy little app on my phone called Bitcoin Ticker Widget, which I love this app, by the way. It's nice little widgets you can put on your little phone.
I like that
background.
too. I've got it.
You can select which crypto you want it to keep an eye on, and then it'll track it throughout the day.
Yeah, throughout the day.
You guys
just
are
take a
way
look.
too much into your apps.
Oh man, it's a great app though. So I can you pull up. I've got Bitcoin pulled up here, and I can punch in. I want to look at the last month chart. I want to look at the last week's chart. I want to look at the last 3 months, year, and it's right at my fingertips. The last month, Bitcoin is down 46%.
Yikes!
In the last month.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's huge.
Huge.
And that's true of the other ones too. So if you go and you look at other cryptocurrencies like Dash or Bitcoin Cash or whatever,
there's not very many that have done well against Bitcoin recently. I guess Ripple to some extent, but not much else.
Dash in the last month down 59%.
Right.
The real big loser, Bitcoin Cash, sadly.
It sounds bad, but for somebody who doesn't understand the crypto world very much, but it's also gone up, 2,000% in the past year and a half?
You mean over a longer period of time?
Yeah, over a little bit longer period of time. Well, it's also going up drastically, so it hasn't really dropped.
Right, it's the best performing asset of the last 5 years.
It's the best performing asset in the last decade, if I'm not mistaken. But right now, at 34.30, it's at about September's price in 2017. So that's what we're back to. It's not exactly a setback in a huge way. We've seen setbacks like this before. It's important to keep these things in perspective.
Absolutely.
There was the price spike back in 2013 that happened in November of 2013.
But a lot of people get into crypto because they want to get rich quick. And I understand who doesn't want to get rich quick.
Sure.
But it's hard when you put your money in and you just see it getting frittered away. If you walked in and you got into crypto in December.
This is not the time to be getting into crypto. Well, maybe actually this is the time to get into
I think now is the time to get into crypto. I wish I had money to buy that wasn't in crypto because I would buy more crypto.
Can't you just mortgage your house again like you did before? Or you don't think it's that important to get
So
in?
what I was trying to say is you don't want to get into crypto at the top. We are down, way down. So maybe now is the time to get in. But
yeah, I don't make investment advice, but you guys have been saying maybe. So you haven't been saying do this.
Yeah,
because it may drop further, right? Like you never know.
Right.
You never know. Aria Demenso saying it's going down to $500.
I've heard people say that. Yep.
I wouldn't say that. Here's my perspective on it. I think,
what does she know? She doesn't know anything. Nobody knows anything.
I think it's worth maybe $500 to $1,000, but I don't necessarily think that's what the market is going to determine it's worth. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where it's anybody's guess where it's going to actually end up or be determined by the market.
Well, I mean, like you said, over time it's up. Right. Over the last decade, it's up significantly.
I found Jeffrey Tucker's explanation to be the most heartening. So what he said, and I asked him many of these hard questions. What he said in an interview, and I can't remember what show it was on, but I think it was last Monday. He said that, look, it took a while for these technologies to catch on. First, think about the internet and how long it took it to catch on.
Sure.
The internet didn't start in 1992. It started before that, and like in little pieces and bits.
I mean, in college to college, they had some early.
What was the first few years of Bitcoin? Honestly,
geek to geek, yeah, sure.
Right. It wasn't much more than that. When you and I were running the Bitcoin QT software on a laptop, I mean, let's be serious here.
I mean, 2 years ago, I think it was only beginning to take off on Wall Street, right? So I mean, that's when it hit.
Yeah,
and it's still new. It's still brand new.
Right,
it's important to
the technology does what they say it's going to do. It's being scaled, and at this point,
Bitcoin isn't being scaled. They still haven't fixed its inherent problems. It's just Bitcoin's not being scaled.
They've got
properly.
a technology for scaling, and
Lightning Network.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, look,
we're still waiting.
Well, Lightning Network is progressing along, and maybe it'll do what they say it's going to do.
Well, Chris Riedman on Thursday night loves the Lightning Network. He thinks it is the best thing ever, and it's just...
I'm not here to talk crap about any of these people's. I really liked IOTA and their web network, their scatter network, or whatever the heck they had.
The Internet of Things thing.
Yeah, that's just the tech. That's not the idea of the Internet of Things. Yeah, I think we should got to try all kinds of different stuff. Some of this is going to work out. Some of it's not. Some of in the .com boom, some of them made it, some of them didn't. But we're still in the early days of Bitcoin.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Likely, this is the belief, is that you buy in now and you're going to do well in the future.
But you got to hold on for the ride.
This isn't about the money. This is about the tech. And that's the hard part to really get your head around.
I think some people have to remember that this might actually not. I mean, you're saying to get in now, but if this isn't the technology that eventually takes over the world, it may not be the time to get in. There's this thing of getting in too soon and it blowing up and it taking another 20 years before that thing that originally was conceived at a prior date actually the problems get worked out, right?
Could be.
Look at like Apple. Apple had like a tablet of some kind in like the 90s, didn't they? And
I don't know.
I believe
no idea.
I believe they did, and it flopped in the marketplace.
Oh, the Newton, wasn't it called the Newton?
Yeah. I think that was it.
Okay, yeah, it just came to my mind there.
And so but look what happened in the last 5 to 10 years. It actually took off, right? Like everybody has a tablet now. So I think it's kind of
1993.
Right, exactly. So I think it's kind of you kind of have to look at it kind of like that.
Yeah, it looks kind of similar to the Palm Pilot.
It probably would be closer to a Palm Pilot than a
gray screen.
But the point is, it flopped in the marketplace, and it was targeted at the consumer, I believe, as opposed to businesses, which is more like what the Palm Pilot was targeted.
Yeah, this might have flopped, but and I can't tell you any one particular cryptocurrency that's going to make it. But
I don't know if any of them are going to make it.
But I can tell you that from this same technology, the Palm Pilot came about, and then they came out with the integrating the Palm Pilot into the phone with the Palm Trio, and there were
I remember you had that one, didn't you?
Yeah, there were several Palms out there that I had them all.
I had a Palm as a teenager in the late 90s.
Me too.
Yeah. And
Palm
then,
3.
Wow, you had an earlier version than I did.
Yeah.
I had a Palm 4.
And then Apple's comes
more than one.
to outdo Palm, which never made any sense to me. I wasn't going to change. I liked what I had, and it's left in the dust. I don't think you can find. I don't think Palm's making anything at this point. But at some point, I had to change.
So we
had to give it up.
Well, look, obviously we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I don't think cryptocurrency is going to be looked at as a bump in the road. I think it's not insignificant. I think it is very significant.
I think there's still,
and it's going to become more significant.
I think there's still crucial issues that have to be resolved before it's going to succeed in the marketplace. But I don't necessarily think that we don't have the beginning of what it needs to be done in order to achieve that success.
The smartest people I know, the smartest people in the world are working on crypto, and I can't believe it's not going to happen. These guys, when I go to these
they're
conventions,
smart and they're well funded.
It's already
wealthy,
happened to
they're
some degree.
passionate.
It's just not mass adoption.
Oh, of course not. That takes time.
Right.
There's more coming up here
That's
in
like 40
moments.
years.
8:55, 450, free. This is Free Talk Live.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today, the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels, or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
When do you want to spot that burglar? When he's casing your home or after he's in? Ask John, whose Blink cameras alerted him of burglars trying to break in while his family was home. Or Shannon, whose Blink camera caught a package thief. Blink motion-activated cameras are wire-free, set up in minutes, and run on 2 AA batteries that last up to 2 years. Save up to a whopping 40% off all outdoor XT and add-on cameras through December 22nd while supplies last. Visit blinkprotect.com/holiday. blinkprotect.com/holiday.
The dangerous winter storm Rocky is expected to pummel the Midwest throughout the day, with meteorologists predicting the blizzard will hit Kevin Hodges of Joliet, Illinois, the hardest, given the way his year's been going.
Yeah, we're stocking up on everything. I think school's going to be canceled. We're just glad we're not Kevin right now.
Joining us now is Jordan Blake in Chicago. Hello, Jordan. Just how crippling will this storm be for Kevin?
Well, we've already seen a lot of damage. Motorists in Kansas trapped in their cars on the freeway. That's nothing compared to the emotional damage Hodges can expect. Having to deal with a sick cat, frustrating new hours at work, and a confusing breakup all in the past 6 months.
You know, we're getting reports that he recently loaned $600 to a friend who has no intention of paying him back and slammed his finger in a car door last month. Does the National Weather Service have any advice for Kevin today?
Not much you can do. The sky is really vulnerable right now. Authorities are recommending that he just stay indoors and think about his mistakes.
That sounds like good advice. You know, he looks like a real sad piece of shit. Stay warm out there, Jordan.
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, inviting you to join us here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Roger Veer from Bitcoin.com says the future of crypto is brighter than ever. We'll find out more about that coming up with you tonight. It's Ian.
And Chris.
And Mark.
And also, I want to make sure you know about AnyPay. Was actually this morning. Mark, you and I met a local business person here in Keene, New Hampshire, and talked to him about taking cryptocurrency. And of course, we recommended AnyPay.
Yeah.
As far as taking your crypto, taking customers' crypto, as payment at your point of sale. And AnyPay works brilliantly for that. In fact, it allows you to accept Bitcoin BTC as well as Dash and Zen and others. Go to anypay.global and you can get on board there. And when I say get on board, I mean the onboarding process is as easy as it could possibly be.
It's really short and really
fast. Create a username and password. That's it. They don't even send you an email to verify your email address, so make sure you type it in correctly. It's almost too easy to get into AnyPay. So yeah, they don't need to know who you are. They just need to know which crypto wallet addresses to send your crypto to when your customers pay at the register via the new AnyPay app. And yes, there is now an app for Android devices. iOS is in the works, but it takes longer to get through the Apple system, so that's coming. We'll let you know when that one's available. But if you are an iOS user, you can still use their web app. So there is a way to accept payment with AnyPay regardless of what operating system is on your tablet. Heck, you don't even need a tablet. You could just use your computer at the desk. Whatever. If you've got a web browser at your checkout, you're good to go. Accepting cryptocurrency.
If you're like this business owner was, a massage therapist or something, you can just have it on your phone.
On your phone. Exactly.
Just that easy.
And it is still easier to accept through AnyPay than it is to get out your crypto wallet, and then you have to, find the place where you got to punch in the amount, and it's just a smooth process. They've made it super easy. And of course, if you have employees, there's no other option. You don't want to use anything else because you don't want to give your employee access to your full crypto wallet.
It's a bad idea.
You just want your employee to be able to accept the payments. You don't want them to be able to send the money back out. So it's really perfect for that. Anypay.global, go there, get started. And by the way, no fees for merchants to accept crypto. So it's a no-brainer. If you want to get into the world of cryptocurrency as payments, this is a way to do it, and it's a great one. Anypay.global. Let's go to David in Detroit, listening online. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Regarding AnyPay, will that run on my Palm Tungsten? The old Palm device from back in the day. Regarding your previous conversation, and actually, what's funny about that is Palm was actually in 2010.
Are you talking to us on a Palm Pilot right now? Because it sounds the audio quality.
I wasn't going to say that. I just don't understand half the things you're saying.
The audio quality isn't that great. Are you on a speakerphone or something like that?
Sorry about that. How about now?
It's better.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's all right.
So yeah, regarding Palm, in 2010, when it was bought by, I think it was bought by HP.
Yeah.
When Apple and Android devices, kind of became the gold standard, and it was kind of quite sad to see that go. But nevertheless, I want to talk about a more interesting subject.
Yeah.
And that is Sarah from New Mexico. I want to challenge her if she calls into one of the after shows, and I can hop on the disc.
I want to hear your I want to hear your challenge, but I'm just letting you know in advance. Sarah actually doesn't listen to Free Talk Live, at least during the live show. She did recently hear us on KABQ, which is the local progressive talk station in Albuquerque that airs us, but they air us later. So she has listened to the show. She knows we're on in her market, but she's actually never listening live when she calls in. Although that said, go ahead with your idea. I still want to hear it.
All right. Somehow, if you're on the line listening, Sarah, I will donate $10 to the non-political organization of your choice. If you call in, I'll hop on the Discord line since apparently I sound like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And just let me ask you some questions. I want to hear a little bit more about you.
Give us an example of one question you really want Sarah to answer.
Yeah, I want to know why she kind of has this common obsession with like public transportation and why she's so
persistent
does, doesn't
about
she?
thinking people just run out in the roads and, get run over? And why does she tend to exaggerate those figures?
So obviously, I'm not Sarah, but I will give my best answer, given that we hear
Yeah,
from her every single night on that. She's a pedestrian, so she is, she walks around, she takes the bus, she is.
I think people have every reason to fear cars.
Yeah, she's concerned.
She's scared of cars, and people have every reason. They're deadly.
They are.
As far as non-disease type things that you can control, cars are in the sort of the top 5 there, and if you don't smoke, they're really a big deal. So yeah, I mean, to her, they're a real threat. I think that she's got some mental health issues. She'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So that probably gets somewhat overblown in her mind, and thus she, she would rather be on buses. Don't ask me why she doesn't want. Buses get in accidents too. Probably just as often as cars, but maybe you're less likely to die.
You're probably more likely to survive a bus
Yeah.
accident unless it falls off a cliff or something like that. I mean, if it's a car running into a bus, the weight difference is tremendous, right?
Yeah, I would suspect that's true too. I haven't really heard too many tragic, super tragic bus accidents, except for when they get hit by trains or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sarah's used to be very regular as far as calling at around 9:30, but recently she's been calling Eastern time. Recently she's been calling in the 8 o'clock hour. So if you were to want to do
Is that time zone differences?
Oh yeah, there's significant ones.
She's in New Mexico.
Yeah,
if
she's
that's
in
what you
Mountain
mean.
Well, right, but do they not have daylight savings or I don't know?
Oh
something
yeah,
so that-
doesn't New Mexico do that weird thing
No.
where
New Mexico is daylight savings.
Oh, okay.
They're on Mountain
Arizona's the one that's that switches around.
Right.
So for whatever reason,
I just got to say, Arizona and New Mexico, they really love it when
they
us
get
East
confused.
Coasters confuse them.
So, David, here's what I'd recommend. If you want to talk to Sarah, get into a conference with her. We will conference calls together here on Free Talk Live. That we can do.
Okay.
Here's what I would recommend. Jump into one of our Discord call-in lines, because you don't want to sit on your phone and burn a bunch of minutes or burn your phone battery down. But jump into a Discord call-in line during the 8 o'clock Eastern Time hour, any night of the week. Because almost every night she calls in.
Except for tonight.
And then I'll go and I'll screen your call and you'll say, oh, hey, it's David. I'm waiting for Sarah. And then I'll just leave you in there. And then if Sarah pops in, then I'll come back to you.
We've got 4 of these lines.
Yeah. So
generally,
you're fine just sitting there.
There's one open.
Right. Oh, there's 4 open.
There's 4 open. Yeah.
Thanks, David, for the call tonight, man. I appreciate
Generally,
it.
there's at least one open.
So we will make it happen for you. All right. That's fun to
Free Talk Live, a high
people.
level of customer service.
There you go. So let's go to Roger Ver. He's being interviewed by Bloomberg.
On the Bitcoin markets, November was the worst performance, in 7 years, back when Bitcoin was about $8 a coin. Now it's under 4,000. Have we reached a floor yet on this recent sell-off?
I think nobody knows, right? That's part of the excitement of cryptocurrencies. Nobody knows if it's going to go up, down, or sideways in the short term.
Good answer from Roger.
Right.
I can't stand it when people ask me what I think is going to happen. It's like, what makes you think I know something about this?
People want somebody to assure them. They want somebody to give them some advice. I don't think that's.
I wouldn't trust anybody telling me that it's going to go one direction or another, because nobody knows. Because it's the market that determines
unless
that.
They
that's
just
why
flew
it's a
in
great
on
answer.
Yeah, unless they just flew in on a time machine. They don't have any good answers for you.
Roger giving honest answers upsets the hell out of the internet, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was a good answer. He's got more
Roger
to say.
drawing breath upsets the internet.
He's got more to say. We're going to get into his opinion that the future of crypto is brighter than ever, even though right now it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. More coming up.
Yeah.
855 450
I'd agree with
free like freedom.
We know you've had Dragon's Breath in the morning, but you've got to experience Dragon's Breath at night. Wolf Hill Ammo's Dragon's Breath, an incendiary shotgun round in 12 gauge, 20 gauge, and a 410 with an amazing muzzle flash and a fireball that launches up to 125 yards. Pure fun to shoot. At Wolf Hill Ammo, we love shotguns and offer the best specialty shotgun ammo on the market. Visit wolfhillammo.com to see our large selection of specialty shotgun ammo at great prices with flat rate shipping. wolfhillammo.com.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Fact. The new NSA data center in Utah requires 1.7 million gallons of water every single day to operate. Billions of Fourth Amendment violations need massive computers and the water to cool them. That water is being supplied by the state of Utah. Fact. There's absolutely nothing in the Constitution which requires your state to help the feds violate your rights. Our message to Utah: turn it off. No water equals no NSA data center. Visit offnow.org.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Toll-free number for you to take control of the airwaves here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And also, we do have the Discord on-air call-in line room, so head over to discord.lrn.fm. You can join one of those rooms. We will join you there, and then at that point, you'll get on the air with us. Sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with me, Ian.
And Chris.
And Mark.
Also, want to thank Brad75552 as a Free Talk Live Gold Amplifier. Brad has signed up for $10 per month to help support Free Talk Live, spreading the message of liberty. Thank you for that. We only ask for 5, but some people want to do more, and that's cool. I'm not going to say no. I'm going to say thank you. So thank you for doing that, and thank you to everybody who has amplified the show in the past. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. You can go to amp.freetalklive.com to get signed up there. Which I discussed it earlier tonight, but honestly, I forgot to mention a few folks this week, so I'm trying to get caught up. We were usually doing one per night, and we were doing real good for a while, and then this week dropped the ball on a couple nights. So thank you to Brad75552. If you sign up for the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com for $5 a month, and you want us to mention your name, you do have to opt in. So by default, you will be anonymous. So if you want to opt in, there's instructions on the initial AMP email that I'll send.
Yeah, we'd love to have you opt in.
That'll explain how you do that, and then you can put in whatever name you want to, so it doesn't have to be your real name, obviously. All right, so let's continue here. Roger Ver from Bitcoin.com being interviewed in the streets of wherever he is by Bloomberg Television here.
What's your feeling? What's your gut?
I'm a fundamentals investor, so I'm investing on fundamentals. Long term, the future is brighter than ever. There's more awareness, there's more adoption, there's more stuff happening all over the world. So, of course, I'm incredibly bullish on the entire crypto coin ecosystem and Bitcoin Cash specifically.
But there's been a number of different fraud cases, and there was hacks, CoinCheck earlier this year. There was a Ponzi scheme earlier, or a couple of months ago here in Japan, that was uncovered. Has that undermined the credibility of cryptocurrencies, in particular Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash even?
If anything, I think it's brought additional awareness to the ecosystem, and the fact that such big players are involved, and the fact that hackers are trying to hack it shows that it's worth something.
If it was ridiculous, no one asks, what about the stability of the U.S. dollar? Has somebody
robbed a bank?
Bernie Madoff ran a Ponzi scheme, or some guy put a mask over his face and robbed a bank in Poughkeepsie.
Well, but the fact is, we don't know what the opinion of the interviewer is, but it's an important question to ask because people have heard these things.
Sounds like FUD to me.
Well,
fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Right.
People think that Bitcoin got hacked or something. I mean, they'll say things like that.
They think that. And what they're actually referring to is MT Gox or something like that. Some other thing that failed.
No, they don't.
They don't even understand the basics of it.
Correct. And this gives Roger a chance to at least address those issues. So I don't oppose the question being asked, as ignorant as it might be. The basis maybe very ignorant, but either way, that's the only way you can correct ignorance is to address it head on.
Yeah, I mean, so Bitcoin has never been hacked.
Correct.
People's wallets have been hacked. Like your
exchanges have been hacked.
Phones have been hacked, and then they can access your wallet. But if you keep your phone secure or you keep your computer secure, and 99.95% of the time, you're not going to have a problem.
Right. And a lot of these hacks are the exchanges where people will centralize their crypto.
And that's a threat.
Yeah.
Because you're trusting somebody else with your money. It's just like if you hand your money to a bank, they're not going to, the government might insure that to $150,000, but you're still capped, right? It's $150,000. I
think they raised it to $250,000.
You're still capped at $250,000. If you put more in there, you're not protected.
Correct.
And who knows?
And
what
you're still
happen.
not protected anyway,
and who knows what would really happen?
Because if the government wants to go in and take money from your bank account or give everybody a haircut, as they've done in Greece, I think most recently,
Malta,
or Cyprus.
The Cyprus haircut.
They just went in and just gave them a haircut,
33%,
or they inflate the money supply.
That's another way to do it.
Right? Canada's currency lost 40% in like 4 years.
Well, let's continue here. More with Roger Ver from Bloomberg.
It wasn't worth anything or it wasn't useful, hackers wouldn't be wasting their time trying to hack it. So if anything, it's just more bullish signals that cryptocurrency is here to stay and here for the long term.
Now, what does it tell you when the regulator here, the FSA, turns over basic regulation of the industry to the industry participants rather than the bureaucrats? Is it going to be more safe, or is there more hazards possibility?
Well, I think
he's in Tokyo, by the way. I was wondering, where is this taking place? So that's where this is. So that must be who the FSA is, because he said the regulator here. I was just curious who that was.
The industry is the group that's the most knowledgeable about the industry. So, of course, they're the ones that have the most incentive to make sure they do a good job of not letting their customers' funds be hacked, not letting bad things happen to their users, because if bad things happen to your customers aren't going to be your customers anymore. So to think that a politician in some government office somewhere knows more about how cryptocurrencies work and how to keep them safe from hackers, I think that's just naive. So, of course.
Okay, but one thing to point out here, and again, we don't know what's being proposed in Japan exactly. But if it's self-regulation, okay, fine. If it's the industry self-regulating on a voluntary basis, by creating certifications or voluntary groups to join, okay, I get that. That's fine. But if it's government regulation being run by industry people, where they're selecting the head of Coinbase or the head of some other company, and then they're bringing them in and putting them on a government regulatory board, which can then pass regulations to affect other companies, that's bad.
It's always going to be bad.
Yeah, I don't even know what they mean by self-regulation. It seems kind of like...
Well, what I mean by that is...
Self-regulation comes usually because the government's threatening something.
Right.
No, that's not true at all.
Can you give me some examples?
I mean, it has happened. It's the Microsoft certifications. So there's so many different certifications, for instance, in the computer world that was not created by government.
But that's not...
It's kind of like a level of training, right?
Yeah, that's not...
That's what I'm talking about. regulation, certification, ServSafe, for instance, in the restaurant industry, goes above and beyond government mandatory, minimums as far as keeping things safe.
That's an example.
Clean.
That's not really an industry self-regulating itself because none of those things are required.
That's what I'm talking
It's a standard.
about. It's self-regulation. It's the market standards.
Doesn't
they don't. But you can add, if you know something about the industry.
I'm not talking about mandates.
It's
just
not
to be clear. I'm talking about
if it's
voluntary
not some
solutions.
Sort of mandate or voluntary solution that not everybody participates in. How is that? I don't see that as self-regulation. It might help.
Not everybody has to participate, but it is essentially a form of regulation that is voluntary. Now, you could argue that the term regulation always has to do with government forcing.
Choice of words is not necessarily the best choice of words. It solves a problem.
Then let's talk about it as voluntary certification rather than regulation.
Yeah,
if you don't like the word regulation,
right. Yeah.
If the word regulation always evokes connotation of government force, then let's throw that word out and talk about
some sort of force by some party.
Let's talk about voluntary standards.
Right.
Voluntary standards. I like that.
Yeah. But that's what I'm talking about, which would keep it keeps a certain level.
Protocols, and I'm good with protocols.
Yeah. But again, all voluntary. If some company wants to ignore all of those protocols and ignore all the standards and market a dangerous product or whatever, they should be free to do that. So again, I'm talking about certifications instead of mandated regulation. So again, don't let anybody be in control of government regulations because there shouldn't be any. And again, I don't know what Veer was talking about, but going on.
Of course, it's the industry participants that know the most and have the most skin in the game, so they're the right ones to be handling this.
But there is a reason you're based in Tokyo, because Japan is what when it comes to cryptocurrencies? Are they... Yeah.
Japan is definitely one of the leaders in the world when it comes to cryptocurrency adoption, but I've been in Japan almost 14 years now, so I was here long before the invention of cryptocurrency.
That's true.
So.
Now, Manus, our anchor, just mentioned about the split within the Bitcoin Cash community between Bitcoin Cash SV and ABC, which you backed. They're calling it a hard fork. You came out victorious, but both have survived. But it really did hit the reputation, and there was some sell-off in Bitcoin Cash along with the Bitcoin.
The whole ecosystem.
The whole ecosystem got hit. Where do you go from here then with Bitcoin Cash?
I think we need to build an economy used on actually using cryptocurrencies as currencies rather than just a bunch of speculators speculating.
Yes.
And that's been the entire goal of Bitcoin from day one.
It's hard to even talk about cryptocurrency and not talk about.
Go ahead.
It's hard to even talk about cryptocurrency and not fall into the hole of speculation. Roger's right here. This is about the tech. It's not about get in and get rich and
that's
hold
what
on
you were
to
saying earlier. Was if you're just trying to get rich quick, well, good luck. Maybe you will, maybe you won't.
Yeah.
If you get in at the right time and get out at the right time, okay. If you get in at the wrong time, get in. You don't know what's going to happen with the day-to-day stuff. But if you're, what he said, a fundamentals investor, he's in for the long term. He sees the vision of the technology. He sees where it can take us with more independence for our finances into the future. There's more coming up. Free Talk Live.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry MyPillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose.
And here's Mike's best offer ever. MyPillow is now offering 50% off their 4-pack special plus free shipping. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-951-5617 and use promo code FTL. That's 50% off plus free shipping. Don't delay. Order now.
Would you like to get back that full head of hair from years past? Introducing Reveal from GCNlife.com. Beverly Hills dermatologist Dr. Nathan Newman invented Reveal, which contains polypeptides with natural botanicals and no parabens, sulfates, silicones, or dyes for a salon-quality hair growth product. Reveal. Here's Dr. Newman.
I have treated a lot of patients who lose their hair and they lose their confidence. We've created a unique set of polypeptides, which we call HPT6. The HPT6 contains contains the polypeptides from 6 different plants. The scalp infusion treatment should be used on wet or dry scalp. The Reveal hair care system is designed to be used for men and women alike.
Get Reveal at GCNlife.com with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So try Reveal today at GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637. Plus a discount up to 25% off for Reveal at GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You bring up whatever you want here in the remaining moments. We got enough time for you if you want to weigh in on this discussion, which is Roger Ver optimistic about the future of cryptocurrency. And that's, I think, an important message to get out there right now, given that anytime you actually look at the price of any given cryptocurrency, whether it be Bitcoin or Dash or Bitcoin Cash, it's down big time. We were just pointing out, they were talking amongst each other during the break, that Dash, if you look at the dollar price, it's down in just the last month, 60%. If you look at Bitcoin Cash, it's one of the biggest losers. And, you know, I like Bitcoin Cash, but it's down 80% in the last month, or at least it was when I looked last. Now it's showing me something different. Well, anyway, must be, it's a different exchange, I think. No, well, anyway, it's still down big time. Bitcoin itself, BTC, down 40-ish % in the last month. So they don't always go down at the same percentages. In fact, a lot of these altcoins are getting slammed even worse than Bitcoin, sort of their granddaddy, Bitcoin BTC. Bitcoin has historically held its ground against reductions better than many of these altcoins, which, you know, burns me a little bit because remember, like a year ago, I thought it was a good move to get out of Bitcoin because it was suffering, right? Like Bitcoin was... during the summer of 2017, you had to spend $5 at one point to send a Bitcoin transaction. I thought, this isn't sustainable. Luckily, I didn't completely get rid of all of the church's Bitcoin. I only took a small portion of it. And I said, you know what? I should diversify a little bit. So I grabbed some Ethereum and some Dash and, you know, Bitcoin Cash. And all of those things have just been taking a beating.
Yeah, pretty much every altcoin. There's a few that haven't, but
if you exclude the dollar tethered ones, then pretty much everyone's been.
Ripple has done okay, but it's still got a hell
Ripple's
of a beating.
down by half.
Yeah,
you know, it's not doing great.
How's Bitcoin doing?
Down by 40%.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in just the last month. You look at the whole year, it's a bunch of them are down even more than that. So back to Roger Ver, though. So again, that's just in the moment. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get caught up in that and feel like, oh my God, this isn't going to work out. But the reality is,
you don't make money. You're not going to make the big money. If you're out to make money, you're not going to make the big money. You know this already. You're not going to make the big money by waiting until the whatever it is on a bull run, and you're hearing all about it and everything, and my friend said and this, that, and the other, and then
that's how people lose their houses.
That's how you catch the top.
Right.
Okay. The idea is to catch the bottom. Maybe this is the bottom. Maybe it isn't.
Going to be. Yeah.
I hope it is. For God's sakes, I hope it is.
You never know where those things are going to be, which is why I like Johnny Ray's investment idea of just buy a little bit periodically. Buy over time. Don't throw it all in at one moment. Get some this week, get some the next week. Don't worry about what the price is. Just worry about what you can afford to lose. So if you can afford to spend $50 a week on buying cryptocurrency, then go ahead. And then just accumulate over time and hold on to
it. If you look at how it's gone over time, you actually would be better off with that strategy,
well,
right?
If you had done that.
If you've been doing it for since 2011, you'd be doing really, or even
if you'd been doing
that.
it since 2013, 2014, 2015, you'd be doing better.
Yeah.
So back to Roger Ver here, because again, he's pointing out he's a long-term fundamentals investor. He sees how cryptocurrency can change and is changing the future of finance and your personal wealth.
See, I like that. Somebody who's in it for the philosophical rather than the financial. Even if there's a financial component that you're profiting off of, being in it for the long haul. Right, and not worrying so much about what it means today.
Day to day, exactly. Yeah. Let's continue here with Bloomberg's interview of him on the streets of Tokyo.
And that's been the entire goal of Bitcoin from day one. In the very title of the white paper, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And that's the goal with Bitcoin Cash, both the ABC camp and the SV camp. And I wish every cryptocurrency good luck if they're trying to bring more economic freedom to the world by making them useful as currencies for the world. So I wish everybody good luck.
Well, Satoshi Nakamoto in the white paper talked about, or I guess the credo of his is that these hard forks would be good for all differing opinions, right? We've had two major hard forks now, which you've lived through as well. But the problem is, where do we go in the future when there's been so much undermining from these and wiping out billions, millions, if not billions, of value, market value?
Yeah, I think we need to build the tools to make it easy for people to use cryptocurrencies as money to buy and sell things and pay their bills and pay their rent and even pay their taxes. We just heard about the state of Ohio accepting Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin through BitPay for taxes. I mean, that's a pretty big step towards mainstream adoption. Not that I'm particularly a fan of taxes, but that's about as mainstream as it gets when governments are accepting cryptocurrencies for taxes.
Now, merchant use, though, is still very low. How are you going to get that up?
I don't know if that's the case. If you have time this evening, I'm happy to invite you in Tokyo. There's a bunch of different restaurants where we can go and pay in Bitcoin Cash. There's a bunch of them all over Tokyo. So if you have time, that's an actual offer this evening.
That's the interview with Bloomberg.
I have to wonder if it's going to be the same experience that I seem to run into, where you go to a city or whatever, you think it got lots of cryptocurrency businesses accepting because it's all over the coin map or whatever,
and it's not.
And then you go in and it's like they don't even know what Bitcoin. Yeah, right. Is like.
I suspect Roger would not invite a guy out to a restaurant with that promise without being able to fulfill that promise.
Oh yeah, there's lots of places.
or the clerk like fumbling over the accepting it because she doesn't really know what she's doing. Yeah, even if they accept it, but it's kind of in quotes.
That's probably more likely to be the case. Yeah. But we have some experience with this here in Keene, or worse. What happens often is they'll forget to charge the tablet, so you'll go in and there's no charge.
There's been I think most of the issues that people have run into in Keene with AnyPay have been more bug related issues, just because it's such a new thing, it's such a new app. It doesn't have the same track record, and over time, those bugs I think are getting worked out. With especially like the AnyPay, the new AnyPay app seems to be working a lot better. But then again, even the website version was working well for a long time.
Yeah, there were some bumps in the road. There were some bumps in the road over the summertime, but AnyPay's been pretty rock solid over the last couple of months. And Dashback is back, and that's now expanded outside of New Hampshire, by the way. So any business.
Oh, really?
Yeah, any business that's using AnyPay.global,
really,
that is validating itself with AnyPay, because you have to go through a little process to make sure you're not some scam artist or whatever. They want to make sure you've got a real brick and mortar business. But they're opening up Dashback too.
Well, I've certainly been getting Dashback, I know, for the last, a couple of weeks at least.
Yeah, and that's a 10% for listeners that aren't familiar. It's a 10% instant rebate, basically, that pays instantly, essentially. Well, it took 3 minutes the other night, but usually it's within a few seconds. It'll jump right back into your wallet.
Usually pretty quick for me.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a headline that you wanted to share tonight. Unfortunately, we're short on time, but I do want to get it out there if possible. The U.S. federal government's Department of Homeland Security, Chris, you say they want to crack Monero, they want to crack Zcash, Zen.
They can't keep drugs out of their own prisons.
Yeah, DHS is looking to track Monero and Zcash transactions, and they're basically have a quote or some sort of system.
I thought they had a bounty. Don't they have a bounty?
A bounty might be the right word. I don't know that they actually have it yet, but they're looking for information. They're seeking information from potential companies that can develop a solution.
We can crack this for you.
Right. And they want to know whether or not it's possible. I don't want to actually go too far into the article because we're out of time. But yeah.
What's the source on the story off?
So this source is ZDNet, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, ZDNet. And I don't know. I don't think that I think they're gonna find out that they're not gonna succeed in this, because unlike Bitcoin, which is, it was never really anonymous. It was just there weren't tools in order to track it. Because obviously we all know that Bitcoin is it's a ledger. It's a public ledger, right? So with enough effort and energy, you can track it with or without those tools, but it's a lot more difficult to do it without the tools.
Correct.
So yeah. Whereas
these are Monero and Zcash are two of the, I would say, prime private cryptocurrencies out there.
I don't know enough about Monero personally, like underneath, but I think Zcash at least is based on Zerocoin. I think that's going to withstand it. I suspect Monero might too.
Monero's a different one. It was based on a technology called CryptoNote. I don't know what makes that different from the zero knowledge anonymity that Zcash was based on, but I know
Monero people really believe it's the biggest, toughest thing out there.
I know this. When it comes to the darknet marketplaces, Monero is the choice for the darknet markets. Remember, darknet started with Bitcoin because Bitcoin was all there was.
It was adopted before Zerocoin was actually out. And
but they have yet to adopt the Zcash standard.
That's true, but
that doesn't mean it's bad.
That's a market issue, not a technological.
I'm not saying that means that Zcash is bad or inferior. It may be better than Monero,
right?
But the fact that they have said this is good enough for darknet black market transactions, to me, is a huge endorsement of Monero as technology.
I think it's I think it's good. They're going to adopt. The market's going to adopt what comes first, basically, if it's working good enough.
True.
And we haven't seen it cracked, basically. So for the moment,
It sounds like the Department of Homeland Security is willing to throw a bunch of money at the potential to crack this.
Crackable.
So. Yeah. So
yes, we will.
We'll keep an eye on that story.
Well, they have to be uncrackable.
Check out Chris on his show. It's on Saturdays. It's live starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Time at freedomdecrypted.com. And it's called Freedom Decrypted.
It is.
And it's available via podcast as well for those who can't watch live. We'll see you tomorrow online in the meantime. freetalklive.com.
Negotiation isn't just something union leaders and sports agents do. Your entire day is a series of negotiations. If you have young children, you know that. In fact, your kids can teach you a lot about negotiating with grown-ups. According to the world's greatest negotiator, Herb Cohen, author of You Can Negotiate Anything. Herb says that kids understand the process of decision-making within an organization. When one parent says no, they'll ask the other. And Cohen says children persist and persevere. And like smart negotiators of all ages, kids know that no is an opening bargaining position. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're a job seeker. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of December 7th through the 9th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.48 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,240 per ounce. Zen is trading at $5, and the average price of Bitcoin is $3,408. Antiwar.com reports Yemen's high-profile peace talks in Sweden are set to open, but already look to be on the brink of collapse, with both sides lashing out at one another and Houthi officials openly questioning whether the talks are